Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Not that I've got any ideas what my spells are going to be, but you know.
No, that's fair. All right. Hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players. Cat.
Hi.
Damian.
Hello.
Kay.
Food.
Kirv.
Hey.
Romulus.
Guten Tag.
And Vinny.
Hello.
And Romulus
It
is
should be noted it would actually be Guten Abend at this point in time.
still.
Yeah.
Either way. Yes. Yeah. So, welcome back to session 40. For those of you who haven't caught up and may be watching this, do not worry. There will be a new Storyteller's Recount as of the end of this session, depending on what happens, and I will release that hopefully within the next 2 weeks. And then that will be up and to get you all caught up on everything that's going on. So, other than that, are you all sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Das is food.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Things didn't go quite as planned, but then again, it didn't the first time around either, did it? Oh well. Since arriving in Grave Wallow Gorge for the second time to clear out the Jade Mine, the party of Cat, Damian, Kay, Romulus and Vinny, and a new tag-along, Devil-Blooded, who hasn't yet introduced herself, found further into the Jade Mine. Now, with their new arrival, they begin asking who's asking the whereabouts of a goose. Things began to get complicated and confusing. Some violence ensued as they pursued a Silkspinner who was the cause of this accidental summoning of this goose hunter. Now, with Kay successfully stealing a book from the Silkspinner and trapping him, the party have come to a parley with the Silkspinners and their leader, and they now seek to solve both of their group's problems. As you each stand in this intense situation, the carved caverns around you, veiled in webs and shifting with tiny crawling spiders, it puts you all on edge. A ceasefire has been called and an arrangement has been introduced, but not fully discussed. As Kay, you were standing on one of the suspended webs, connecting across the two lengths of the cavern. Another one of these Silkspinners backed up against the wall, the large, otherwise spider-like legs sprouting from their back, holding them in place as they face you. The two of them, otherwise up against the wall there. As a third one began to round the corner with two giant blight spiders at her side. As the leader of this troop looks at you. Well then. What are your full terms for this? Or rather, I'll say, what do you want as a result of this?
Well, we would like to have a... Kay looks at Cat. How much jade do we need?
We need 4 bits of jade for our thing, but the city are going to constantly want to come down here and take this. So, for us to help you move what it is you want from this place out and give you safe passage out, make sure everything's all okay, we would like you to leave this place so there's no fighting and no one gets hurt on either side.
So, 4 jade and the you guys leaving and to clear up exactly what has transpired between you guys and them to ease myself.
The Silks... Okay.
That is what I want.
And the Silkspinner looks at you. 4 pieces of jade can be arranged. As per the rest of it, we will be taking as much of this jade with us as we can physically carry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And your sacred bit that glows.
Yes. We intend to take that too. But that will take time to excavate. We've been repairing tools in an attempt to remove it ourselves, but things have not been so willing.
I could possibly help with that. Though, just so you know, just to lay this out, sometimes my magic gets a bit wonky.
He otherwise looks at you and then looks at his brother, or looks to one side. You can't quite see his brother from this angle, but he otherwise looks over and looks at his brother before looking back at Kay. If you can help, then that would be appreciated. We also need our escape route excavated too. The way we came in was not the same as the way we were getting out. The miners attempted to blow it up and stop us from fleeing. That's when things turned nasty.
Okay. Right. Alright, so first priority then, should it be clear the exit so you can start moving the jade, and then we can then start excavating the bigger bit, or your glowy bit, while you're transporting the smaller bits, and then make that the last bit?
That will work for us, and we can take the eggs with us too. I'll leave the decision of whether you want us to dispose of the bodies as well in your hands, though.
No. At least we can take them back to their families.
Very well, then.
What?
The appropriate authorities can take them back to their families. Give them some closure. Okay, so if that's the terms, then I'm more than happy to work with you on them. You guys?
Look, I'll be honest. As long as no one gets hurt, and we get paid, and we can do everything we wish to do, I have zero concerns.
Yes, a full-scale evacuation of the cave seems like the only way to avoid more bloodshed in the future. So, if you're amenable to that, then we can help.
Silkspinner nods.
Oh, Kay reaches out his hand to shake hands with him, because Kay has learned that this is a way of agreeing to something.
Okay, make me a persuasion check with advantage, as you will be receiving the aid of the rest of your party.
We'll help him shake his hand.
Yep.
That is persuasion. That's a 10.
Okay. The individual, as you otherwise reach out your hand, the individual is hesitant at first, but reaches out their hand to shake yours.
And then it is a deal.
The individual nods, and you watch as he looks over to the female silk spinner who's with them, who you notice she otherwise puts away her spear and takes out what looks to be this small, almost bone-looking whistle of sorts. And as she blows into it, everybody hears a high-pitched kind of whine sound, except for Kirv, as you currently have speak with animals active, and you otherwise hear clear the cave. These are allies now. Where the rest of you hear what sounds to be almost this high-pitched vibration which shoots through the webs.
Romulus fully starts shaking his head like, what the fuck was that? I can feel it in my teeth.
That's probably the first thing Damian's heard clearly so far in this whole exchange.
He's just standing at the back, surrounded by spiders.
You remember how it was with like a really poor phone line, and you just hear like bits of sentence. That's basically what Damian's heard up to this point, and then it's just a high pitched scream.
Oh, the dial-up's kicked in.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So, who is doing what? There are 3 teams at the moment. There is Team A, who will be clearing the escape route. Team B, who will be excavating the Jade. And Team C, who will be doing a miscellaneous task.
Miscellaneous task. Interesting.
I feel the personally more brutish diggers could probably do the clearing of the way. So as like the more finer can be used for excavating the Jade in case it gets damaged.
I think that rules me out, the Jade one.
And Damian can just dance.
Well,
Don't
David
step
would be
next.
part of the British.
Yeah.
He's strong.
He is. Okay, so I will Jade. If anyone wants to help, then by all means. Do you have someone that can carry that? The big glowy one that's sacred? Or do we need someone that's strong? Looking at Silkspinner.
We'll be able to carry it back, don't you worry.
Okay, right. So yeah, in that case then. Yeah, I've got the bigger one. The sacred one. Then if
Was there a mention of needing tools repaired?
Yes.
We've repaired the tools already for the excavation of the Jade. We just haven't had a time when we can excavate it already.
Guess that's kind of our fault.
Sorry, BRB.
Well, I think Kay would personally be best at doing miscellaneous tasks, so I will go on Team C.
Okay. Okay, so who will be handling the excavation of the escape route?
I think you're nominating Damian for one of them because he still can't hear.
I'm thinking Damian. And
I'll say Romulus can
Romulus.
relay what's been going on to you back here.
Okay.
And at this
I
point,
do
the
as
spiders do begin to kind of back off and begin to
Okay,
almost
move
get into
forward a
huddles.
square, that makes a change.
Yeah, they begin to back off and huddle a little bit, but they don't bar your exit anymore.
What are we doing, Romulus?
Suffering, that's what.
Ah. Well, yeah, I know that feeling. What are we doing right now, though?
All right now.
Still suffering.
Fucked if I know. I'll be honest. I've kind of just been vibing.
Does anyone up the ramp know what we're doing?
See, the thing is, no one's actually specifically talked to me, and I'm just. Wait, oh shit! That's why I haven't been. I didn't know where I was. I haven't had tabletops even though you're up. Ugh. I loaded up
do
roll
it.
20 for some reason.
Oh yes, the software I've never used. Correction, I used it once, a long time
Yeah.
ago when I tried
Yes,
to
I was
run
gonna say.
fourth
I'm
ed.
sure I remember you using it at least one time.
I'd used it once when I tried to run fourth ed, and it didn't go very well.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, 4th edition just be like that.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
Chat,
Well-
Vinny, what's going on?
well,
We've got the spiders to agree to not fight.
Okay, that's good.
They want to get some of their jade out and some of their items of religious importance, and they're going to leave.
Oh,
But they
so
need
this
our
place
help.
actually is sacred. Okay, that's good to know.
Hmm.
But they're leaving it. Oh, okay.
Mm.
So what are we doing right now?
It's not so much the place is sacred as it's what's in the place is sacred, and they're taking what is sacred with them.
I'm
yeah.
hoping it wasn't the spider's webs that were sacred, because
I think they can make more of those.
okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they need something big excavated, and they need a big tunnel dug.
Looks at Romulus. I guess we're doing the tunnel.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, you're quite strong, and I'm not as strong as you, but I'm strong, I suppose.
All right.
Oh,
Damian now feels about 2 foot tall.
I don't know how this became a thing, but like, yeah, I guess this is part of my character now. Just taking the absolute piss out of Damian. I'm sorry. It's just how this has ended up going.
So I guess that's me and Romulus doing. Is that task A, the excavating? Yeah.
Yes, excavating is task A. So Romulus and Damian are doing task A. Who is doing task B, which is excavating the Jade?
That'll be me.
Do you want a hand with that? I
Possibly.
don't know exactly how much I can help, but
No, yeah, possibly. I don't actually know what I'm getting into, so a hand would be good.
Well, you'll be getting a hand from either Vinny or Kirv, regardless.
On that note,
I mean,
turns around to Kirv, not knowing Kirv's called Kirv.
Who's not right here
How
right
are
now?
you?
yeah,
Oh,
Rebecca's.
Go back at the moment, yeah.
yeah.
ah,
I mean, technically, could just have 3 people on group B. Don't necessarily have to do groups of 2.
This
Do
is true.
we-
I will say as a general note, if you end up going as groups of 2, or if you end up going as groups of 2, then all of the skill checks will be balanced in accordance with potentially being good and bad results. If you put 3 in one, you're almost you're surefire to get the result you want. If you have 1 in the group, it's risky. So it's up to you how you want to balance that.
I think 2 and 2 and 2.
Yeah,
Good.
2 and 2 sounds good.
It balances everything.
It guarantees a fair go of things, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Speaking of, what sorts of miscellaneous tasks need doing?
You'll find out when they get done.
Oh boy.
Harvest the egg sac.
This is one of those that it's potentially very good, potentially very bad. You'll have to see how that affects you all.
He's going to be taking a bath in the pool.
I mean, Kay can do that.
Kirv can do that. That's where Kirv came from.
Or
So,
2
where
and
would you
2.
like to go, Mr. Vinny?
Yeah, just while Rebecca's be right back. Whichever one you want to be on, and I'll put Rebecca on the other task. If you want to go 2 and 2, that is.
Well, I've got a few different skills, so I could probably help with miscellaneous, unless you have an idea of what you want to do with the excavation, okay? Because that might be an...
mold earth. Lots of mold earth.
Oh, that's going to end in lots of fireballs.
Not
No, 'cause
necessarily.
it's a cantrip.
It's a cantrip, which means that she'd have to roll a 1 on a d20 in order for wild magic to go off.
We know that one.
And also, mold earth can affect a relatively large area. It's just it has to affect loose earth or stone. So solid, uncarved stone is going to be very difficult to work with mold earth.
Chaos bolt.
Oh,
Joking.
Okay.
So I guess that's the team.
Okay. In which case, we will begin with column A. So, Romulus, as you and Damian announce that you are part of the excavation team, one of the Silkspinners, actually, let's put these in the right colour order. So the leader would go with you for that. She would be with you, and he would be with you. So, as the leader otherwise rounds the corner, otherwise closing towards you, you can see kind of the almost grey, almost slightly oily coloured skin, oily sheen skin of this individual. The kind of stark white, almost silk thin hair, otherwise cascading down the back of his neck as he approaches, the 8 spider legs behind him clicking and skittering across the sides of the wall as he approaches. You two follow me. Keep up as best you can. If you need assistance, I'll get help. Try not to break everything. So, you follow suit, I assume?
Do as he says.
Yeah.
Okay. Following suit, I will show you the part. I would like groups. I would like Cat, Kirv, K, and Vinny to all press B to blindfold yourselves, please.
Oh, nice.
Okay. You all blind? Are they all blindfolded? With probably Kirv as being the exception here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you would like to, you are welcome to hold Alt on the map. I'm giving you permission to hold Alt on the map so that you can see what is going on. And you will be leaving by the exit that is up here. As you travel down this way, travelling up a slope and heading out this way. You then arrive... I'd need to undo this. Nope, wrong one. Now needs to go back. This. Actually, yeah. And then I can delete these. Okay. Okay. And this is the map that you arrive on. This is the path that you take to arrive here. So, as you otherwise travel through what looks to be kind of these jade sectioned areas, kind of bits of jade sticking out and otherwise embedded throughout this area, you note the spider webs that are otherwise clinging across a lot of the walls here. In an endeavour not to break as many, or if any, I would like you both to go ahead and roll me dexterity saving throws, please.
Beautiful. This will go well.
Can I get advantage?
If you wish to be careful and slower, you can.
I was thinking like danger sense, but yeah.
Oh, in danger sense. Okay, in which case I'll... Yeah, that's fine. I'll say, Damian, if you wish to go careful and slow, you can. Doing so... Okay, rolling a single dice.
Is that how it would work, or not?
Yeah, if you want to be slow and careful, you can roll with advantage. However, doing so will result in unforeseen consequences for one of the other groups.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just going to risk it, I guess.
Okay.
This is going to end so badly, I know it. Please roll a nat 20, that would be really helpful. Or just, a high number in general. Oh! I got very scary.
Okay, that's not great for me.
Oh.
Okay, so...
That's
well,
a 10.
10?
Same, in 11.
Thank God for that advantage,
Okay.
though, I guess.
The two of you, otherwise going through the webs, with the guidance of the silk spinner with you, you otherwise arrive at your destination, which is back here. As you enter this back chamber, you note the kind of the green glow of this area. What looks to be a large crystal hangs from the ceiling, completely suspended and held in place by thick strands of silk. The green glow that it otherwise oozes through this area illuminates the area of this natural cavern which seems to have been mostly untouched. You can see sections and pockets where Jade has been chipped out of the wall, and you can see what looks to be where spider bites and claws have been put in place as they have attempted to dig out the Jade, mostly unsuccessfully, it would seem. The Silkspinner in question, as they otherwise note your... I'm just going to put this here so the rest of the party can't spy when they unblindfold. There we go. So they don't know which one you came from. When, as the... Also, the rest of you can unblindfold now if you wish to, as there's nothing really to mention. As you otherwise arrive in this area, looking around, you can see that there are 3 bedrolls, a table covered with pieces of jade, which look like they've been cut and placed here specifically. You can see one of them seems to be placed on top of the book in question here, and looking at it, it looks different from the rest. You can see what looks to be almost cracks that have run through it with a slightly brighter glow to the rest. The Silkspinner who's with you, who is otherwise flanked, and there are numerous spiders around this area that have taken interest and begin blocking off the paths around you. You otherwise begin to follow this individual as they gesture and point at what looks to be a section of the wall which has collapsed inwards. This is where we were cut off from the rest of our group. We arrived here in attempting to slowly pick away at the jade that we had here, after the miners discovered that we were in the same tunnels as them, and they sent a few sabotage teams to block us off. We were trapped here, and we have since set up shop. We've been trying to dig back through, and hopefully our companions on the other side are trying to dig through as well. But so far we have had no success. So,
Okay.
you can see what looks to be some large rocks, some small rocks, where it has otherwise caved inwards and downwards. You can see kind of a bit of darkness to the rest of the wall around, and given neither of you have dark vision, but you both are carrying the light with you. Oh no, one of you is carrying the light, because I believe Cat has the other one.
Yep.
You can currently see very clearly that the section of the wall here has broken and collapsed inwards. There is a lot of rubble here, to be sure.
So you want us to just go through that area and try and reach the others?
If you can, try to clear it out, and we don't know how much of it or how far it's collapsed. We also don't know if the structure of the cavern is going to hold.
Makes sense. Just one question. The others will hold to the bargain that we've got with you if we reach them.
We can inform them of what is happening and that you are aiding us in the extraction of the jade. Recruiting allies isn't out of our range of expertise. We tried to recruit individuals from Drell, but they were less convinced after they heard that there were contractors in the area.
I can understand that. Yep, we can get to it. Have we got any tools for us to do this?
The individual in question has a pick and shovel. So one of you can take a pick and one of you can take a shovel, unless you wish to use other tools.
Is there any benefit to using either of these in particular?
Just the techniques with which you use them. At this point, it's a what tricks do you have at your disposal to try and help with this? And what checks and things are you going to try and do to succeed? So it's down to your creativity. For now, I will let the two of you decide what you would like to do. If you want to, you're welcome to head to standby and discuss with each other what you want to try and do to overcome this as a challenge. Or you can think about it privately and then mention it when we get back to you in just a moment. But for now, we will head to one of the other groups. Kirv, are you back?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, that's quite right. So, you have been paired with Cat.
Mm-hmm.
As Romulus and Damian, as you have heard them being called, are otherwise led off by the leader of the Silkspinners. You two are met with the with the person who you were pursuing previously. He's a bit skittish and nervous, to say that, to be sure. But as you watch, Vinny and Kay are otherwise led off by the third individual in question, where she is leading them elsewhere.
She?
Yes, she's leading them elsewhere. Sorry, but the otherwise the skittish Silkspinners, he otherwise kind of comes up relatively close. The other spiders have backed off. He goes, I'm sure you noticed the glow, as it was mentioned, through this way, and gestures behind you, Kirv, and kind of makes eye contact with you, Cat.
Kirv speaks.
Mhm.
Now, just a moment. This all sounds like some fascinating politics, but you were there when I appeared. What do you know? There has to be a reason.
Well, one of their group interrupted my ritual, and it went wrong. That's all I can say.
It went wrong.
What
You
was the
weren't
ritual?
trying to bring me?
No. That's never happened before.
And you know nothing about a goose?
Not if you're after a specific one.
Sorry. Well, this is going to take longer than I thought.
Yeah, well, we can help you find. You were summoned here with a goose. What? Were you chasing a goose before you appeared here?
I have been told to capture a goose. I'm Kirv, by the way.
Hi, I'm Kat. Oh, this is Jeff. And this is Tula, and I'll get Tula out.
Jeff, you can currently see, is a otherwise white and crystalline owl who was otherwise hiding in Cat's hood. Kind of these crystalline eyes and feather tips, looking very abnormal for a creature that you've never seen an owl before. So it's very odd for the bird that you'd be used to. The other one, on the other hand, is even stranger to you. A kind of a long serpent-like shape, 2 sets of legs down the body, and covered in these tiny round spheres of almost this iridescent light.
Aha. They're lovely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, after we've sorted this, we can possibly help you find your goose, but do you even know where you came from?
Yes, of course I know where I came from. But that's not
Okay.
important.
Well, that might help us find or at least start to track you. Let's go and get this Jade, and we'll talk about the goose problem. If you're willing to help, I'm sure we can help you.
It's a deal.
Okay. After watching Kay, we go try and shake hands. There's a guy between us, but I'm sure we can do this.
Oh, with Kirv, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. This is just the places you were in before.
Okay.
Yeah.
We established a deal.
I
Okay.
grin and return the handshake.
Cool. So, how much experience do you have with digging?
Digging? I can
Digging.
put my hand to most things.
Okay. Right. Well, let's go and excavate this Jade then, and head over and
The
start excavating.
Silkspinner shuffles by as the two of you, otherwise, that's Jeff, as the two of you otherwise approach on the up on the Jade. You can see more closely now what looks to be the surface of a large, no, a multi-lattice of jade all overlapping with one another. Not one big chunk, but jade growing where it's grown into each other. You can see the lines where they have fused in places, and beyond and inside you can see what looks to be this piece of jade which glows, these thick cracks running through it of kind of this glowing light. And as you both approach, you both get this almost weird sense about you. Out of the following three, which would you say is the most pronounced in you? Greed, lust, or gluttony?
Just both of us.
Yes, this is both of you. Which is the most pronounced?
Okay, I'm gonna. My character, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your greed. Your greed. Your character. Yes.
Lust.
Okay.
I think lust is going to be way too much for someone like Kat, and greed isn't something she takes part in.
Okay.
It just
I've
rules it down to gluttony, essentially.
Pancakes.
Yeah, I like pancakes a lot.
Okay, so Kat, I would like you to make me a Constitution saving throw as you're using gluttony, and Kirv, I'd like you to use a Charisma saving throw as you're using lust.
I have so many
sorry, I'm good.
questions.
I'll be right back.
So that's plus the charisma.
That would be the Charisma save, yes.
Sorry, am I adding my charisma?
Yes. Yeah, to the D20 roll.
Okay. That's 17 plus 7.
24, okay.
24. My bad.
Okay. And Kat, what did you get?
26.
26, okay.
Nice.
The two of you begin to feel almost this strange pull, almost like a light whisper tickling at the back of your head before it dissipates and shifts away as the two of you shrug it off. Some form of influence from the crystal itself, it would seem.
Strange.
Saints some bloody curse, right?
Curse. I don't know, I just...
Oh,
I can't
not yet,
drink
at least.
waffles.
Waffles?
Never mind. Just a little hungry. Right, we
Kat,
need
I'd
to
also like you
expedite
to roll
this.
me an additional D20 as well, please.
Why do you hate me?
It's
Oh
easy.
god. I've used the luck on that dice now. I've got a 20, so... a 5.
A 5, okay. Carry on.
Mother? What is he doing? Okay, alright.
Waffle?
Okay, no worries, no worries. I
Oh, pancake? Sorry. I
No,
can't-
no. There's some tomfoolery being had.
That will most likely be happening because of the jade. The miners tried to dig the jade out by force, and they struck the outer shell. As a result, the inner jade has probably started trying to strike back. It's going to be dangerous, but so long as you can prevent your innermost urges from getting out, you'll be fine.
Lots of saves. No. Okay.
It's
Well,
a real
let's-
shame that Romulus wasn't here because I don't think he has any of those three desires.
Well, you'd have
I-
to choose one,
I
that's the
don't
thing.
think Cat has. That's the thing.
That's the thing,
Like-
you just choose whichever one you deem would be the most in your character. If you would be none in either of them, or in any of them, then I choose, based on what I know so far.
I guess you could argue a lust for power, but again, that's not for the sake of the lust. It's
That's not
simply
necessarily out of line either. Saying lust, but lust for power as opposed to lust for romance or
yes.
anything. Yes. Those are two very different types of lust, but it's still lust. So.
And then there's K, that's just straight up gluttony.
This is true.
Yeah, fair, fair. Yeah, that's quite an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so let's start excavating then. I guess we'll try.
Okay.
Have we got any tools?
the Silkspinner otherwise looks at you and goes, I'll go and retrieve the picks from the forge. You think about how you want to handle this. And he is otherwise going to rush off and grab the picks. Okay. While you consider what the two of you would like to try and do, you're welcome to move into one of the other chats to discuss between the two of you, or you can think about it privately on what you might have at your disposal to come up with solutions.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
move to...
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pop into my room for a bit.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, and I will move to now Kay and Vinny on your side of things. So, as the two of you otherwise travel with the other one, seeing her for the first time, you can, not knowing who she is, you've seen the other two, you've seen the leader and you've seen his brother. You've not seen her. Getting a better look at her and not necessarily understanding this very well, I would like the two of you to make me a nature or history roll, please.
I want it noted that Kay is enjoying his time with the webs and is using the webs to follow her.
And Kay, you have advantage on this.
I have advantage.
Yes, if
Okay.
you... yeah, you'd have advantage on this. Because you have
Is it
succeeded...
nature or history?
Yeah, because you have succeeded at this before.
And does it make a huge difference?
Doesn't matter for me.
It doesn't make a huge difference for you, no, Vinny.
Okay. It doesn't matter the modifier. It's 16 overway then.
Okay, 16 and K?
Let's see. Either way, it's a 5.
It's a 5. K, you're used to guessing the age of someone who's dwarven. It's a little bit more of a refined timescale, but for an elven individual, this is a lot harder to do. For Vinny, you also find it a little bit struggling to define how old this individual is, as elven isn't necessarily something you're entirely used to. But you do note that this individual has wrinkles. At the very least, that puts her in her mid to late 500s. She is old. And by the looks of her, she's very battle-hardened. Even though she may not be the superior here, she may be more powerful than the other two.
Kay is just having fun with the webs right now.
Yeah, Kay's just having fun with it. You wander back down the track, as you otherwise travel. She looks at the two of you and goes, "So, you two are going to be helping me with my tasks then. We need to secure the perimeter and begin setting up traps again, should anybody interrupt us/you in your tasks for helping us. Anywhere you'd like to begin or think about starting?" She will inform you on the full layout of the top layer. Let you know that there is an underwater section which you can go under in order to reach this cavern here, which is more of a feeding chamber. And they use it to grow mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Yeah, the same mushrooms that you saw across the way over here. But yeah. We're going to need to set some up, in case people come along. There are more adventuring groups that have been since you came through. One hunting team came from the swamp, tracked in a little ways, and were taken out by us, sure, but you've otherwise carved a path. We're going to need to set something back up again.
I think starting at the entrance is the best place to start.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what we can figure out there.
Okay. You watch as she begins to climb across the webs, her hands not clinging to the webs, similar to UK in this instance, as the two of you travel through all of this. Now, you've broken most of the webs for this area. The only thing which does come as a issue is going back up through the main nest area. Going back through, there are a number of spiders. A lot of them are unconscious and one or two are dead. She does take note of this, given what's happened, but you note that she notably notices that a lot of them are still alive, so doesn't think too much of it, and otherwise calms them with the same whistle that she'd used before. Vinny, I would like you to, as you do not have web walking of any means, I would like you to go ahead and make me an acrobatics or athletics check of your choice to keep pace.
Okay.
Easily enough. The
Yes, that's a 27.
yeah, the two of you easily. Kay, just because Kay can walk on the webs and finds it a lot easier to actually move around in these spaces now, finding that he can move quickly both on and off of the ceiling, making it easy to traverse the entire area, while you, even though you're dealing with slippery slopes and in a few areas which are still sticky with web, you travel through fairly quickly. She is still escorted by the 2 giant blight spiders, but I'm not going to bother spawning them in for the time being. As you are now at the entrance. So, you're at the entrance. You can see that the entrance is otherwise left open. A number of the barrels and crates around are cracked open, same as they were when you came through before. You can see the webbing further down this way is left undisturbed, but has been re-established by the previous group that came through here. You two will be coming up with trap ideas and things that you might like to do to help in the event that, if when I roll on the random encounters, depending on how long the other 2 groups take, if we end up having an encounter with a group of adventurers who are not so happy with either you or the spiders therein. So, you two are welcome to move to a channel and chat. If one of you would be able to go into the Harlan's shack and let Jamie and Harlan know that their time is ready to go, and we'll begin with them.
Okay, I'll bring them and meet you in your...
Okay. Oh. Well, that's different.
That's fine. That's fine. It means they're
Okay.
ready, which is all right, and that means I can, when I move on to Harlan, if they're not ready, then I can. Harlan and Jamie, are you two ready?
Yes.
As ready
yes,
as you'll
I
be.
suppose. As ready as we can be.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. As the two of you are otherwise there, you've been handed a pick and a shovel. What would you like to do to try and overcome these particular problems at your at the hand?
Okay, so obviously the pick is to deal with rock rather than earth or gravel.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be picking up the pick, as I believe myself to be the superior picker.
Okay.
Damian's grabbing the shovel because he can shovel stuff out the way.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say beyond I'm guns to commit some crimes.
I mean, if there's loose stuff, I'm happy to use my shield master to try and shove some of it out the way.
Okay. There we go. So you're going to be using Shield Master to shove out the way. And Romulus, were you using any resources or anything special, or were you just going to try and pick away at the stone?
Is delicacy really required in this circumstance?
That's up to
Or
you.
Is it pure? Okay.
If you-
cave in.
Let's put it this way. If you wish to inspect it to see if you need to be careful of any areas, then you may go ahead and do so. In which case, this will be a history or nature check.
Okay. Well,
I will say, given the environment that you grew up in, if you aren't proficient in one of them, you can gain proficiency.
thank you kindly. Yeah, I'm actually not proficient in either of them. I will take proficiency in nature. Feels most applicable.
Nature? Okay. Go ahead and roll for me.
So that's with my proficiency which is +3, so that's a +4 altogether. Oh boy.
Just noting down what you are doing and the result that you will get.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, so a total of 20 here. Okay, looking at the cave wall here, most of the area around here is untouched. It looks natural. Bits of it have scratches and marks, as you saw before, where spiders or other individuals have attempted to claw the jade out of the wall. Looking more particularly at this section, though, you can see where there are blast marks, where an explosive has been used to cave this section in. You can see that a lot of the rocks have fallen inwards, toppling away from the walls towards the centre, as would be expected of a typical cave-in. You note that there are very few that have come from the ceiling above, but there are still some. This means that if you were to cut away at the center, it's possible there would be a further cave-in. Cutting away at the left or the right first, however, would potentially give you time to put in supports or something similar. Potentially with the use of Cat's Mold Earth, if you can recruit her later on, or potentially through any materials or things that you might have at your disposal to aid in the creation of a support. You can feasibly make a structurally safe area. Alternatively, you could potentially try, and this is an alternative option as opposed to you working supports, try and dig in such a way that the cave-in will stop itself from caving in, creating an arched support with loose rock. It's more difficult, but it requires no resources or creativity in order to do so. And I'll say, Damian, using your shield master, I'll say that this is, I'll say that's just a hard pass for that one. As you otherwise begin to shovel, and using the shovel and your shield as a combination, almost like a brush and pan, you scoop and yeet and scoop and yeet and throw the rocks and rubble out the way, moving them to one side, clearing the way for Romulus to work. I will say this has easily lowered the DC for the next check.
Cool.
Okay. Do you wish to have more time to think this over, and I move to the other group, or would you prefer, or do you have ideas straight away?
Okay, so in regards to supports, what materials are currently available to me in this place? This place was a mine. Is there any wood
Are these
nearby that we've
bedrolls
passed that
or
I could?
beds?
You've got, these are bedrolls here. So these are just bedrolls on the floor. Around this area you can see that there are large chunks of stone, but for the most part this section of the cavern is natural. There are sections of it that have been carved away, but most of this area is natural. The only wood that you've seen thus far was from things like the minecart further back. This section here is a simple slab of stone that has just been chiseled around the edge.
It's not a table. That's
No, it's not a table.
Using some table legs as supports.
No, it's a simple slab of stone that you could sit cross-legged at. Romulus would struggle to do this, but anybody else could.
Yeah, no.
And as would
in
Cat.
that case, my best bet is to like have it be set up so that it'll fall in on itself rather than anything else.
Okay. So the DC will increase. However, I will let you decide on this, and I will allow Damian you to aid in this, whether you wish to make a separate roll on your own or whether you wish to help. I will let you decide what kind of check you would like to attempt to use for this. Depending on its relevancy, will depend on the DC.
Okay. And it can be any type of.
It can be
reasonable check.
any kind of check. You could say, for example, I would like to make attack rolls using my strength with a pickaxe to try and brute force break through the large chunks in an attempt to let it cave in. In which case, we'll go with that. If you wanted to, you could say I would like to use my intelligence or my wisdom to inspect it so that I know where I need to strategically cave in. You could say I would like to use my strength to for example, you could say, Damian, take the pick. I'm going to use my strength and a rage to hold it up while Damian strikes the particular bit so that it caves in well. If it were to go wrong, you could get caved in with the stone. These are all possible options. You can also ask your ally here if there's anything they can do to assist as well.
Right.
I'm actually just going to move their stat block up so I have more ready access to it.
This is the elder elven Silkspinner.
The leader, yes. Not necessarily the elder one. You haven't seen the others necessarily if they're older or not.
Could I ask a potentially insensitive question?
You may.
Do you produce your own spider silk?
With these legs currently active, I can, yes.
I was wondering if perhaps you could assist us in shoring up parts of this before we begin digging to ensure it does not collapse. I believe we might be able to work out some places that if we support them properly, we will then be able to get through with little issue.
That sounds fair to me. You watch as the individual begins to, as the 8 legs otherwise claw in front of them, and they hold their hand out, and you watch as this energy begins to seep from the edges of the legs into almost this silk ball in their palm as they begin to throw large globs of it, and it sticks, otherwise sticking some of the stone to the ceiling and the wall around. I would say this will lower the DC.
That is very fair.
Okay.
I think I'd want to inspect the wall to try and get an idea of where it's least secure and where it's most secure.
Okay. In which case, I will say go ahead and make me a nature or history check of your choice, or an investigation check alternatively. Nature and history will result in the same effect. Investigation will result in a different kind of result.
I'm gonna try a history check.
Okay.
Oh, is that cocked?
If it is, you can pick up and drop it, and then it should roll to what it needs to be.
There you go. It was going to be on a 6, so it's in 11.
An 11. Looking at it, it's a little bit difficult to tell, but you do begin to look at it, and I'll say, given your knowledge in lithomancy, aids you in this particular instance as you look over the surface of it. It's possible that it could collapse in unexpectedly. It would depend very precisely on specific things done, and could be very dangerous in certain circumstances if it were done improperly.
Okay.
I will say with the fact that this is a very narrow check, I will say you have added a minimum DC as well. So you now have to hit within a range, not going over a maximum.
Perfect.
So you can go too far over your DC range now.
Right.
Yay!
Perfect.
We've made our lives harder for ourselves.
I tried my best.
Usually DC ranges are between 5 and 10. So let's say, for example, let's say the DC is 10 as a base. You would have to hit between 10 and 20 or 10 and 15. If you go over, there will be consequences, but a success. If you go under, it will fail with consequences. And if you hit exactly within the range, it will succeed. So Damian has just added a extra little bit of detail where if you go over, you'll still succeed, but it will have consequences.
Okie doke. Well then, we'd better succeed.
Okay.
Right. Give me just a moment to think. So, am I assisting in where to place the spider silk to make everything a bit safer?
I'll say you're doing this as a group. You're aiding in the direction of where you want the spider silk to be placed. Yes.
Okay. Then once that's done and it comes to my time to shine, I'm going to be picking up the pickaxe.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's safer, my main focus is going to be how to do this as efficiently as possible.
Okay.
Would a reckless attack benefit me here?
Reckless would give you advantage. Given you're aiming for a narrow DC, it will aid you as much as it will detriment you, because you're more likely to go over, but you're also less likely to hit your under your minimum.
Would you say, is there, in this specific circumstance, would it be worse, do you think, to go over or under?
That will be up to you in this instance. Going over is a success but has consequences. Going under means it's a fail with consequences. So going over is usually better.
As much as this one is a situation where I could be persuaded that a fail is what is better than a success, than a bad success in this one, I'm going to go for the reckless just to. If I can get this over with one swing, I think that's better than getting it done over and done with 3. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, Damian, no, just
I am going to be attempting an attack roll with the pickaxe to do the smash.
Okay. So go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage due to you using reckless.
Just a quick check. Can I know the range I have to hit?
If you are set on using Reckless, I can tell you.
I am set on using Reckless. I have already agreed to it.
16 to 23.
16. Yeah, okay. Roll relatively low. Oh no.
17 plus.
I'm afraid I have a +8 to my attacks.
So that goes up to
oh wait,
25.
do I have proficiency with pickaxes?
Ooh.
Yes, you have proficiency with all weapons as a barbarian. They would count as war picks for the purposes of being tools.
Fuck you.
If you weren't hitting a range, you would have said, "Oh, I'm proficient in these, right?" We all know that to be true.
Maybe.
So that's a 25.
I would have asked if I was proficient or not. I would not have assumed.
That's fair.
Yes, that it would indeed be a 25. So
Okay.
it's not too far over the range.
It is a success, but it is an over success. So, in this instance, as you begin to pick away recklessly, taking heavy swings, you crack and carve away chunks of rock, swinging them to one side as Damian pushes, shoving them out of the way. More silk is used to try and hold up the section of this area. As you begin to pick away, a section of it begins to fall inwards and it begins to collapse as you expected. But one large chunk falls towards you. I will let you make a choice here. You can make a dexterity saving throw with danger sense. If you fail, you will take 6d10 bludgeoning damage. If, on the other hand, you would like to, you can use a rage, but make the dexterity saving throw without advantage. And obviously, you'll take half damage, so it's up to you.
Okay. So dex save or
It's dex save with a rage usage, or dex save with advantage but no rage usage.
I'm gonna go no rage usage.
Okay.
I don't think it's damage is halved, but also I need to conserve my rages in case something real bad happens. It's bad that rocks fall and everyone dies isn't a bad for me, but I'm strong enough to be able to survive hopefully one hit.
Okay. This is a dexterity saving throw. DC is 16, because you only just went over the DC.
Oh,
Okay. You succeed. As you swing, you realize your pick as it hits and cracks, and despite the loud ringing and the noise that you are making, you note a crack that goes up above you faster than it should have. Potentially a different type of rock. Maybe it was loose, you're not sure. Weakened by the explosion? Possibly. As you pull the pick away to pull the stone and the chunks down around you, you realize that there might be another piece coming up above you. And as you take a quick step back in almost this preemptive motion, there's a pause and then a large rock tumbles into the place where you were, which would have potentially pinned you to the ground and done quite a lot of damage should this have actually hit you. In this moment, you stand there kind of still as you note the archway has held above you, but you are not all the way through. You will have more ground you will need to cover. We'll come back to you and we'll move to one of the other groups for now. You are welcome to move to another room and discuss further if you wish, or stay here if your plan of action will be the same. There will be an indeterminate amount of checks to continue excavating through this tunnel. But for now, you have passed your first success. Okay. Next, we move on to Cat and Kirv. As the two of you stand there, the Silkspinner returns, carrying what looks to be 3 pickaxes. Excessive, he knows, because, there's only 2 of you, and he's not going to be able to swing it very well. But he returns with the pickaxes and goes, I've got the tools that you asked for. What's the plan?
I am going to try different magics to try, because let's be honest, I can't swing them things. They look really heavy. And I will support Kirv as much as I can, who's also going to dig. Just the stone, though, Kirv. Right? Just the stone?
Just
Not-
the stone.
Not the glowy one.
Okay.
So you're digging the stone around it.
I'm going to be trying to use mold earth to move what's loose and what it can be moved. And then after that, I'll be using a combination of homing blade to chip at bits and mold earth to keep moving the earth that is broken out the way.
So mold earth and homing blade in order to keep stuff moving out the way, and Kirv for making attacks with the pickaxe. Okay. So I would like Kirv, please go ahead and make me an athletics check. And for Cat, I would like you to go ahead and make me a... I'll say this will be a spell attack roll. So that'll just be a d20 plus your proficiency plus your intelligence modifier. And this will just be to try and keep on top of this to pull it out of the way, or alternatively, an initiative roll. I'll let you choose.
Jeez.
What was that? So Kirv?
Nat 20
Okay. So
and a 1 from athletics.
1 for athletics. Okay, so that brings that to a 26. You're no stranger to hard work. As you begin to swing your pickaxe, it begins to dig into the stone as it hits, and you pull large chunks of it pulling away. You begin to note as you kind of carve through here that there are a number of sections of this seemingly converged sphere of this jade that almost reaches out, almost like roots or tendrils almost from this center piece, and they breach the outside of the main shell of this orb, it would seem. They similarly have cracks, and they have bled into the stone around. And as you hit with your stone, you are careful to work around them, but it is still arduous work picking and working at stone. Cat, what was your total?
1, but can I use my Tides of Chaos on this?
You may.
Okay. Still plus 7, that's 11.
11. Okay. So, considering that that is an 11, and that is a relatively low roll, I will let you choose the following. You can roll 2 wild magic checks for Mold Earth and Homing Blade, as they are cantrips, and obviously natural ones will cause wild magic. And we will say that that is a failure. Alternatively, increasing the DC for Kirv later. Alternatively, it can be a success, but I want you to roll me 8 wild magic checks. Remember, the DC is still 1. I will let you decide which one you would like first.
Can I discuss with Kirv, or have I got to make this decision?
I will let you decide if you wish to discuss it or not, whether you want to.
Okay, Kirv, as you could potentially be the brunt of this, what do you think? I mean, 8 sounds fun, but it sounds like a disaster.
I can take it.
Alright, I'll do 8.
Okay, go ahead and make me 8 wild magic checks, and this will count as a survival. So,
First 2.
Mold Earth plus Homing Blade. Remember, the DC is 1 for these, so that's fine. Clear away.
Okay. The other 2 is okay.
Okay.
No,
Okay, you're fine.
nearly, but we're good.
Okay. Cat. I would like you to roll me a d100, as you failed your second roll earlier and being near the crystal is affecting your world magic. Your DC has increased by 1, meaning that 2 is indeed a failure.
4. No, 48.
48. I'm going to load up my wild magic document. Okay, so this was a level 0 spell with a modifier
Let's not get Tides of
of
Chaos back.
+2. You do indeed get your Tides of Chaos back.
Win-win, I guess.
Okay. As this happens, you watch as the green glow from the crystal, as Kirv picks away at it, you watch as there's this shoot of green energy which surges through and out of the crystal. As you cast Mold Earth, it catches onto your hand, shoots through you, and you watch as the energy shoots up into your horn and outwards. As you look over this way, you see what looks to be this horse-like form with this long singular horn at the frontal point of its head, as it looks towards you, and there is a radiant glow around it. Do you speak Celestial?
Yeah, I do.
Who dares summoneth me? As it stamps its hoof on the ground and looks directly towards you. Ah, a fellow unicorn wannabe. Oh, I am very appreciated by your flattery, but I was in the middle of something. Is there something I can perhaps help you with before you send me back?
Am I able to see this too?
You can, you just don't understand. You just hear
Okay,
very
no,
strange
no.
celestial words being spoken. The Silkspinner is going to panic. I'm going to roll a wisdom save for him.
Where did you come from?
You're the one who summoned me. I have no idea.
Well, can you help us dig up this jade? I don't know how equipped you are, what you have, but we're trying to dig this up.
The unicorn otherwise trots around the corner and has a look at the jade. Goes, oof, that is one nasty piece of magic. Can't say I can do too much to help with this, but I can try and help for a moment. And you watch as he swishes his mane of hair back, and as he does so, you watch as this radiant light explodes outwards from his horn and onto the two of you, giving you both protection from good and evil, which means that you will succeed your next 2 saves against the crystal. And as this happens, the unicorn disappears.
Is summoning just a regular thing here for you guys?
Well, I mean, okay, so in the last little while, 2 things have been summoned completely by accident.
Things?
Though, okay, you and a
Correct
unicorn.
phrase would be being.
Though,
God,
that was-
I knew you were a bastard because of your genocide. I didn't think you were racist.
2 beings were summoned. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, he wasn't any risk. I just turn around to the Silkspinner. It looks like he's pulling himself. This is my weird magic I was talking about. Sometimes it happens.
Luckily, none of the eggs hatch from your unicorn friend showing up. As you just feel this kind of strange glow. For you, Kirv, this feels wrong. It feels almost good in a way.
She sort of pauses and waits.
I just shrug. I don't know. He's helped, so. Oh, yeah, by the way, he helped us. So I'm sure whatever he's done is gonna act, or she, that unicorn, whatever the unicorn has done, is gonna help. So carry on, I guess.
The sooner I get out of this place, the better. I turn to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll carry on with what I was doing.
Okay. Continuing on, you have what looks to be a large route in front of you. Digging around it might be a bit difficult, depending on what you want to try and do. If there's any tricks you wish to achieve, then go ahead. If you wish to just brute force it, you can.
How big an area have we dug out here?
I'll say you've dug out probably 1/8 of the crystal at this point, in the fact that you've dug around it. You only have to dig out half of it, because you can presumably roll it and or pull it with enough strength to lift it out of its wall bearing. But
Enough strength. Cat's weakness.
There are other things around that can pull it out. There are spiders. There's mechanics that you can use. Intelligence can be used in place of strength. Just because you two meatheads are hitting stuff over there. So you've covered about 1/8 to the point that you would be able to attempt to pull it out of the wall at that point. You can dig further than that full 50%, and then it'll help with lowering the DC for taking it out. But as it currently stands, you've dug out a section of it. But there's this large root section that's in the way currently.
Okay.
So why do you guys like this thing so much? It's a bit of a pain.
The Silkspinner looks at you and goes, It's sacred to our culture. These crystals are the things which allow us to bring about new being with our spiders. They grow, they breed naturally, but with the crystals we can make them stronger. We can honor them to the broodmother. That's
So you
why,
prefer it if I didn't smash it to pieces?
if possible, it looks like it's tried to spread, where its shell has potentially been broken from the previous attacks of potentially the miners trying to break it out of here. In its current state, it still needs to be managed. I can try and perform a ritual, but it will take a significant amount of time, and my ritual book is with your friend at the moment. But if I can do a ritual, I can potentially try and have those tendrils break themselves off, but if things go wrong, then it could get difficult.
So, this whole thing isn't what you want. You're after that inside?
Yes, but if you are to attack the shell, the inside will react negatively.
So what if I were to try and take out the rock around it without getting too close to it? And then just pull that whole section out?
That would be fine. It would work. I mean, it would be significantly more work if you're trying to go around the roots as well, because they look to be quite widespread.
I mean, you don't need all of it, do you?
I mean,
Okay.
I'll leave the decision up to you, but we need the bit in the middle preferably intact. The roots are a byproduct of it defending itself, and the shell is just its natural form in the way that it is shielded. Because the shell is protecting it from us, or us from it.
So we kind of don't want to break it because it could end in disaster for a lot of us.
It
But
could be
we
very
can get it
difficult,
out.
yes. I believe one of your friends was already affected by one of our spiders.
Huh? Did Cat notice? I'm assuming it's Damian's spider blight.
Yes. Damian, did you mention the spider blight previously, that it was happening to you, or no?
No, I haven't mentioned it at
Okay.
all.
I
So
remember
no.
him saying he was scratching, but
Yeah.
I don't imagine.
Probably not, just that he was feeling itchy.
One of our friends is affected by.
The crystal has... That's what my original ritual was trying to do. I was trying to dampen the effects of the crystal so that we could excavate it from its shell. Unfortunately, something went wrong, and you're here. So, no offense, of course.
All taken.
He grimaces. So yeah. You can try and break it out if you want, but it'll be extremely dangerous. And if you damage the crystal inside, then I can't imagine my brother will be happy.
That's fair.
This was one of two that we were sent to get.
What happened to the second?
The second one is in safe hands. We currently have it protected back at the main base camp, which your friends are excavating. That one's already safe. It's just being... I've already performed a containment ritual on it, so it should be okay.
And can you only do the ritual with the book?
I can. If I get the words wrong, then it could make it worse and it could spread.
Okay, this is. Let's just try and there's loads of resources at our disposal. Let's try and get access to it so we can get a rope round it. Have you got rope or chain or anything we can wrap round it?
Are you looking at Silkspinner or Kirv?
Yeah, silks. Well, both. To be honest, this discussion, it's a three-way discussion. I know they've got the web, but I don't know how strong web is.
I mean, it's quite strong. I mean, we've got a lot of spiders. We can pull it out. It's just going to be one of those that will take a lot of work and they'll need to be carved out properly.
Okay, so if we can get it free and loose, hopefully between like us and maybe some of your bigger spiders, we might be able to pull it out, or at least drag it out.
Possibly.
Could the
Okay.
youngins get into the smaller, more delicate parts of the roots?
And then what?
They're not that strong, huh?
No, not really.
I mean, I can chip away at them if there's a gap enough that I can get a homing blade through. I can just slowly chip away at them, but it will take time.
You can. Here's the thing. If you're trying to continue the excavation on the path you've currently got, the DC will have increased and has now got a range based on the fact that you have a root in the way. If you break the root, then that will disappear, but then you'll suffer repercussions. If you want to just try and figure ways around it, then that's up to you.
I have nothing that can neutralize this root. Except for his ritual, which sounds like it's going to take a long time and could get worse.
True. I mean, you have that protective magic that the unicorn gave you, so maybe. Oh yeah, for Vinny and Kay, who have just come back. Kirv, or Kay, not Kay. Cat, so many C's and K's. Cat rolled on the world magic table, summoned a unicorn who gave them protection against good and evil, and then poofed out of existence.
You know, we've got this protective magic. Shall we just try and bash it out while we've got this magic?
That's the best plan. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
Fine. We're just gonna, while we've got it, we're just gonna bash it out. Try and aim more for away from the center so we don't risk damaging the core.
So
Oh,
you've got
really?
the two boneheads on a different level who are just smashing something, and now these two are going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, but we're doing it with sophistication. We've got a unicorn
Wow.
blessing, right? What have you got?
Boneheads, apparently.
Hey, we've got a sophisticated plan over here.
I can't wait to hear it, but we'll...
Which is
Okay.
funny because I've got no idea what it's for.
Okay, so I'll say where you got the protective magic. So, Kirv, you're making are you going to make an attack roll or an athletics check with the pick?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
And
So do I have to pick one?
yes, attack roll or an athletics check. They each will have slightly different
Outcomes.
outcomes. Yeah, and attacking for you would be using your strength, so it would be with a +4. So choose that between that and your athletics as you see fit.
And it could go over and fuck us.
It could go over and, as you say, cause repercussions, or it could go under and not reach what you need, and then similarly cause repercussions. And
Okay,
Kat, what would you like to do to try and help?
Okay, so if we're just gonna go all out and try and chip the outside to at least get access to the core or the root, we haven't got access to our 3rd level spells, but can I
No.
upcast to 3rd?
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Okay, I am just gonna like upcast magic missile, and also aim for the surrounding shell / root.
Okay, expend your spell points and roll me a wild magic check for me, please. And Kirv, please go ahead and roll me an attack roll or an athletics check of your
Athletics.
choice. Okay.
Okay, Chris, I need to know
Okay.
which of them was more confused, them or the unicorn?
I mean, the unicorn popped into existence, complained about being summoned, and then was like, what assistance can I offer before I disappear, oh fellow unicorn, aka cat, and then proceeded to leave.
Yeah, it was a very confusing ordeal, and the Silkspinner like no crapped himself.
The fact that you hit a unicorn as well. It's like
It's meant to be.
yeah, apparently. So
You're lucky Kay wasn't there. He would have bit it.
bit the unicorn. That's true. So what did the athletics check result in? 3. And what did you get there, Cat?
Oh, was it the 7 or the 2? I can't remember.
That's
It
why
was
we
a 7.
rolled wild magic with the white one.
Oh
It
right,
was-
yeah.
It
Shall I
was
roll
the
it on the
7.
wild magic dice.
I'll
It
say
was the
I think
7.
it was the 7, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
cool.
Yeah,
I watched. It was
yeah.
the 7.
I'm pretty sure it was the 7 as well, because the 2 was for something previously, but yeah. So, because that was the one that got you your wild magic in the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
True.
So, in this instance, Kirv, as you're otherwise swinging against it, your pick hits against the against the outside of the shell, but it isn't able to break through. The shell is a lot harder than the stone around it, which is surprising to you, but, well, I mean, to you, it doesn't necessarily make sense. Gemstones are usually a lot easier to break through than stone is, but, oh well. In this instance, it's difficult, and it isn't really easy to break through. And, Cat, as you're otherwise firing these magic missiles, each one begins to collide and almost glance and chip off as if not doing as much as you would hope to the main central crystal itself. Or the shell, anyway. And it doesn't seem to break through it significantly enough to the point that you would get there. The first one of your repercussions is negated for the first fail because of your protection against good and evil, and then the second one will be used up in a moment depending on your next roll. You still have time for while your protection against good and evil is up if you wish to try again. Alternatively, you can try something else.
I'm down to try again since we lowballed it.
Yeah, I will aim specifically for 1 point in the center, not actually aiming for the core, but just all 5 of them in one specific point.
Just try and get it done with.
As Kirv makes the impact.
Okay.
So where Kirv impacts, I will then impact straight after.
Okay, go ahead and roll me new rolls again then, please. So, wild magic for you, expending your SP as you would, and then for you as well there. Kirv, go ahead and roll an athleticism.
That's fine.
Wild magic's fine.
6.
6 total. As you take a swing with the pickaxe trying to break through the shell again, the magic missiles hitting, they begin again to cascade off. They begin to chip and break through. But your protection against good and evil has broken. The total DC that you have otherwise met so far is getting there. You have now lost your safeguard if you wish to continue this endeavour.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I'm
What's
gonna-
the worst that's going to happen? Romulus is
I'm
my inspiration.
Going
They're the
to
strongest team.
quickly check. Can the Silkspinner do anything to help? No. Oh, I know the Silkspinner can. Oh, actually, no. Hold on. Does it? Hold on. Sudz, do you remember if Druidcraft does anything useful here? I don't think Druidcraft does anything useful here.
I mean, if he has a seed, he can place it onto like
No,
the
he
wall
doesn't.
or something and force it to sprout.
No, he doesn't. He can cast harmless sensory effects.
I'd caution against trying to deliberately expand the usage of Druidcraft. Like, it's a huge number of scenarios are already completely solved by knowing what the weather is going to be tomorrow. So I don't think it needs anything more.
I mean, that kind of makes complaining in English. Just basically, English communication introductions has just gone out the window. That's
Yeah,
Brits couldn't
no.
do it.
In this instance, there's nothing. There's nothing this individual can do. None of his spells help because he's not trying to support it or anything in any way. Because he can't use any of his damaging spells because he feasibly wouldn't. So go ahead and give me a third roll. Again, wild magic expending your SP as necessary there, Cat. So keep that in mind. How low are you running?
Yeah, this one is going to be just a flat first level because I'm gonna burn my spell slots.
Okay, go ahead. And Kirv, go ahead and roll for your athletics or attack roll check. Your choice.
Good.
Oh my
Oh, no.
gosh.
Have you got inspiration, Kirv?
No, because I haven't given out any new inspiration since last time.
Okay.
So, in this instance, as you fire off the magic missile, it otherwise hits and begins to chip away further and more delicately as Kirv, your attack, as it hits, it glances off of the outside of the shell and digs into the root as the root cracks and snaps off. I would like both of you to make me Constitution saving throws, please.
Let's go.
A success here will deal half damage to you.
Let's not do that. Well, 17.
Okay, DC you are trying to beat is 13.
Oh! 12.
12? And Cat?
17.
17.
Hang on. Yeah, 17.
Okay. Cat, with a success, you take half damage, so you take 9 points of necrotic damage. And Kirv, with the failure, you take 19 points of necrotic damage.
Big fan of that.
As the root snaps off and you feel this sudden surge of almost this poisonous blight take hold across the surface of your skin, and you feel it begin to bite into you and burn before it dissipates, otherwise breaking through the armor and the enchantment that was previously on you.
It took off all my ammo.
No, the protection against good and evil.
Yeah, got it.
That would be an interesting effect.
Yeah, that's rude.
Okay. Okay. So we've done significant damage to this thing.
Have we?
No, you
got
broke
damage to
something
you.
off.
I will say...
Oh, I got you.
I will say the section of the rock which previously had the root in it is now rootless because you have broken it off. So you can continue on your previous excavation if you wish.
Sure. Yeah, we'll just carry on with the harmless excavation for the time being.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The Silkspinner is going to cast a first level Cure Wounds into each of you.
Aw.
So for Cat, you receive 4 points of healing.
Take it.
And for Kirv, you receive, much better, 10 points of healing.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it checks out. Well, I'm no longer like.
Well, I mean,
Bad, so-
proportionally, that's better, given that Kirv failed the save. Alright.
Fair.
I need to mark off 2 first level usage, which takes you down to that. Okay. So, with that, we will, while you consider your next move, if there's anything creative you wish to do, feel free to move into the other channel. We will move over to Kay and Vinny. As the two of you are up by the entrance with your particular Silkspinner, what traps would you like to lay for any unknowing adventurers that may be making their way towards you at this current moment?
Okay, so starting from the outside and working in,
Mm-hmm.
our first plan was to set up some kind of diversion in this bunkhouse.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe writing something in chalk if it's not too wet out.
That'll be fine, yeah.
Meanwhile, we were going to try and bait some of the predators. There's alligators, there's the giant frog, into hanging around this area. I believe Kay has some food. I also have the ring of speak with animals.
Okay.
We should be able to make something happen there. That way, if any adventurers come along being loud and clunking around in this area for a while, they could be having a bad time.
Okay. So what are you writing in chalk?
So, I was going to try and write on the door, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Something particularly ominous.
Such
Like
as...
on one of the doors, I'm going to simply write what, like, run. Sorry, I was thinking.
That's fine. Run. Okay. And were you going to write on the other door?
On the other door, Kay, any ideas? Something particularly spooky?
Death awaits inside.
Sure, we'll put that. We'll let's actually have it trail off before the last couple of letters.
Okay, so
Like
death awaits.
inside.
Death awaits in breaks off there.
And then there's like a line of being
Yeah.
dragged off from it, like
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Let's leave that door ajar
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, and leaving the door ajar. Okay.
Okay. Nothing too major out here because we want to mostly focus on the inside,
Uh-huh.
and we're not entirely clear how much time we have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, first things first. This minecart here,
Mm-hmm.
was that actually there?
I believe yes, you didn't push it with you, so it is still there.
Yeah. you couldn't
Okay.
do it because it was stuck there.
We would
Was
like
it-
to try and get the silk spinner to help and the spiders to help us push this inside.
Okay. I will say go ahead and use either investigation or athletics to assist with this.
I
Or-
would like to use investigation to figure out why it wouldn't move.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I would quite like to do the same.
Okay. I will let you choose whether you wish to assist Kay or whether you wish to roll separately.
I will assist Kay if it's possible.
Okay. Okay.
That is investigation. That is a total of 23.
Okay, let me just load up the reason as to why it was jammed there in the first place. This is the minecart. Okay, looking at the inside, it looks as though the brakes were just on.
Okay, the brakes are on. Alright,
Yeah.
then I will turn off the brakes
Mm-hmm.
and I will stay in it while it gets pushed
Okay.
inside so I can lock the brakes again.
Okay. I'm going to roll 3 checks, one for each of the giant blight spiders and one for the silk spinner, to see how they do. Because you're inside of it, this would make their combined DC needed to be 35. Natural 1, natural 2, and natural 9. No.
Ooh.
As they're attempting to do so, you note that one of the spiders, as it's kind of like pushing its head against the minecart, it moves forward slightly, and then as it otherwise slips, it rolls back and rolls over the leg of the spider, which then proceeds to pull its leg back as it takes 13 points of slashing damage. As the minecart rolls over its leg, crushing it. The spider otherwise recoils, and the silk spinner immediately goes to attempt to calm. You are much better at this than you are at strength. That is a natural 2.
Oh my goodness.
The spider is going to go into in this instance, more of a frenzied panic. In pain. What do I want the spider to do? Kay and Simon. Oh no, not Kay and Simon. Sudz and Simon. I would like each of you to give me an option for what the spider will do, and I will then choose which one it goes. We're going to reverse the roles here. What does the spider do after receiving pain and a failed calming is attempted?
I feel like it's going to... This is its home, so I feel like it's going to try and rush inside and find a place to hide.
Okay. And Simon?
It's been hurt.
Oh. What is it actually going to do? I think if it's just panicking, I think it's gonna run away.
Okay. I would like both of you to roll me d20s, because I like both ideas, because both have their own... Both of them have their own detriments, so I'd like both of you to roll for me. Higher is the one that I will take.
That one.
Simon's. Okay. As the blight spider begins to run off, the silk spinner goes to try and stop it as best she can. She blows on the whistle. So I'm going to say we'll give her another follow-up check. As she blows on the whistle, you watch as it runs away, it climbs into one of the nearby trees and then freezes in place. Before you watch this massive tongue shoots outwards from the nearby frog that you saw previously few days ago, or a day, not even a day ago, the same day. As the giant toad's tongue shoots out, hits the spider. Oh, well, let's see if it hits the spider. Hits the spider and pulls the spider towards it, to which the spider will take... from the hit alone, it only takes a d6 bludgeoning. So that's 7 points of bludgeoning damage, which brings it very low.
Vinny, the ring. Use it. Talk to the frog. Get to stop.
Do I have time to try and do this?
I will allow it.
Okay. I'm going to expend a use of the Ring of Speak with Animals then.
Okay. As you expend a use of the Ring of Speak with Animals, you hear the giant... As you see this happen, instinctively activating the ring, you hear the spider go, "What? Ah!" This is pulled off to the side, and you hear from within and behind the wood, fresh lunch. And you hear what sounds to be a chomping sound as it's going to take a bite attack. It fails. But you hear it go, "Ah, tricky food."
Okay, if we were in earshot and we call out, "No, not him, he's poisonous."
Roll me a persuasion check.
Boy.
There's another frog around, didn't realise that.
Oh no!
Okay. As you say that, you hear the frog say back, "But I'm poisonous." It's going to take a bite into the spider again. Misses again. Spider's going to bite back. Actually, no, Spider's going to try and break free as it's trying to escape. Spider... Okay, so as this happens, as it tries to talk with its mouth full, "But I'm poisonous too," the spider crawls out of its mouth, skitters up the side of the building. You watch as a tongue tries to lash up towards the spider, but misses, as the spider quickly skitters down the other side, bleeding and crushed to a certain extent, and rushes past the Silkspinner back towards you, Kay. Kay, go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw, as it does not care if it tramples you. I'll say the DC for this is, I'm going to say 8, because it's fairly easy to know this was coming, but at the same time, there's still possibility.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. DC was 8, yes. So with a natural 1, that would have been -4 plus your dex save, which I don't think would be high enough for that.
No.
No. So you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as the spider rushes past you, trampling you a little bit. As it runs back into the cave, and you watch as the giant toad jumps on top of the building, which promptly breaks underneath it as the giant toad goes through the otherwise unsupported roof into the ground below, crashing through. As you hear it go, "Oh!"
Don't worry, buddy. There's more humans coming soon.
Really?
Yeah, they're coming past this way. Just hang out there for a little while.
Roll me another
Definitely, now I
Roll
see
me a
the point.
persuasion check again.
My persuasion is not bad when I don't roll nat ones. So
Okay.
let's see.
Okay.
14.
14. It rolled an 18. What is the insight of a giant frog or giant toad?
-4.
We'll find out.
Hopefully.
I believe wisdom of most creatures is okay, but I'm going to double
It's
check.
usually about 10. so
It's
probably
usually about
0.
10, so for an insight, yeah, +0. So yeah, in this instance, it otherwise goes, "You tried to get me to spit out food. You're not a toad." And he's going to try and headbutt the door to get out.
Okay, we should get moving.
The toad bashes its head. It bashes its head against the door, which opens inwards and fails to open the door.
I
On
haven't.
a natural 3. Let me out.
Tell him if we let him out, he needs to do something for us.
We can let you out, but we need something in exchange.
What? Boof. Just going to make another attack roll against the door.
Okay, what
Push
do we need?
the thing. Push the thing. We need it. It's big. It can push the cart.
The door splinters a bit.
It can push the cart. We just need it to push the cart.
What if he tries to eat us?
I'll throw a rock at it. I will cut
think
it
we
from
should-
the inside. I will cut it from the inside like that plant.
We don't want to fight this thing, remember? We want it to fight other adventurers.
Who are you
Just end it.
talking to? Boof! Whacks his head against the door again.
Just tell it to calm down. We will open the door, and then he can push the cart for us.
Hey, if we let you out, will you promise not to eat us?
Yes.
Do I believe him?
Want me to inside check? No. What is the? What is? The...
Oh!
Well, you beat my 2 on deception. As he suffers from -4 as a giant toad.
So
Okay,
it
so-
would eat us.
Seemingly it's saying that just to be let out.
Okay. Right. We have a deal then. You just wait there. We're going to come right over and let you out. And as soon as we do so, you're going to not eat us. Got it?
Okay.
Perfect. Just sit tight. We'll be as quick as we can.
Was he lying?
He's lying. Move the car.
Roll me a deception check. I'm going to say with advantage because this thing hasn't got the intelligence to be able to pick up on this plan. And what is the insight of this thing? With a +0, there's a total of 5 from him. Versus your a lot more. Okay.
26.
Okay. The thudding stops.
How do you feel knowing that you lied to a frog?
You lied to me.
Alright, so
So, whispering to the Silkspinner and to Kevin. Right, well, he's going to wait in there for a while. Hopefully, if someone else opens the door, they'll have a bad time. Let's move the cart in.
What?
Nothing, we're just figuring out how to open the door. It's a bit tricky, you see.
Okay.
Yeah, we think it involves using this mechanism here, so we're just going to do that really quick. Go, move it. Move the cart.
alright, Kay is going to turn his tail into like kind of like a metal rod
Mm-hmm.
and put it up against the wheels and try and like use it as a lever to make the wheel move. Kay's not good at pushing. This is the best he
No,
can do.
that's fair. So you're going to try and use it as almost like a crank on one of the wheels.
Yes.
Okay. I'll say you can make, because I know your athletics sucks, make me an athletics check with advantage on your part, because you're using that. Vinny, do you have any
Athletics.
methods you wish to try and use for this?
Hell
or are you just
yeah,
pushing?
let's go.
Let me
Are we
just...
rolling athletics
That's
for
a
the...
19.
Are we rolling athletics for the Silkspinner and the other giant spider? Actually, I'm going to roll a wisdom save for the
Yeah.
other giant spider. Okay, it's not traumatized by watching its friend's leg get crushed and then almost eaten by a giant toad.
We didn't...
Hey, it's watching the rat. It's watching the little rat thing do the same thing, so it should be fine.
That's true.
Okay, we there's no like actual problem with the cart, right?
No, it's just heavy.
Okay,
it's empty
I'll
and it's
try
just
help
heavy.
push.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an athletics check. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Not till 20.
Okay. So versus the total DC of now 30, with a natural 20, a natural 19, a natural 11, and a natural 16. Easy peasy this time around. With the use of multiple people helping in this instance, and now that you know and gauge how heavy it is and you're being safe about pushing this, making sure to take the to pick up the right stance, and pushing, you push the minecart in as it begins to squeal. Vinny, you just about hear from behind you, "Is that the door?" as you push the cart inside.
Okay. So our plan for the cart is to
Just
set up
ignores
a-
him.
I'm just ignoring it, yeah. So
Hey.
the plan for the cart was to set up a roadblock because I
Okay.
don't think there's much of a means to get around it in this tunnel.
Okay.
It's quite a small tunnel from what I recall. It looks pretty.
We're-
So we don't want to quite move it in there yet. So let's get it into this chamber first,
Okay.
and then I'm going to turn
Yes.
to the silk spinner.
say
Exactly
we'll
how
use
much
this for
webbing?
We're gonna
Yeah.
get the lake here.
Exactly how much webbing can you get into that opening tunnel?
We were thinking layers on layers.
If you can give me time, I can fill it up and otherwise coat it in webbing. If you are after something a bit more dangerous, like the ones infested with spiders, I can do that, but only a limited number of times.
We're just trying to get layers on layers.
I can do that then. And you watch as she flexes her shoulders, and you watch as from her back and spine, 8 legs begin to protrude outwards and begin to otherwise curl round as she begins to kind of shoot strings and sections of web from one side of the wall to the other, and begins to slowly create this veil and mat of silk.
Cool. Okay. Now, Vinny, you need to get on that side so it doesn't block you off.
All right then. Let's
We can
finish
use the
moving.
webs to get over it.
Yeah. How tall is the tunnel at this point?
The tunnel, if I believe, if you remember correctly, or if I remember correctly, sorry. This is going from room A to room C. The way down is blocked by webs, easily torn. There is enough room for a medium creature to stand up straight while pushing the minecart. If the minecart is halted, then the players must or the characters must proceed to attempt to climb over the minecart. So the minecart will effectively fill 3/4 of the hallway if you were to stop it in the tunnel between this section and the rubble pit.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're attempting to get it to go right there.
Okay.
But we could just climb over it and be fine without touching the ceiling of this area, right?
It would be a squeeze because you'd both be having to go prone, but yes. Which for Vinny would be more of a problem because he might get stuck, but for the other you two, you'd be fine.
Okay.
So Vinny could go ahead in order to alleviate that problem, as you said.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what the plan was. Have Vinny go over, and then we can make it over easier.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we want to make it as difficult as possible for them to move the minecart past here. So
Turning on the brake again.
Okay.
turning on the brake again.
Maybe
What is the axle made of?
I am not familiar with such a term. What's part of the
It's-
what is the axle
the
term?
axle is
The rod that connects the wheels.
yes.
It's made of the same metal of the minecart, so it would be kind of a. In this instance, due to where you would be, probably just made out of wrought iron, so it wouldn't be particularly strong, but it's strong enough for the purpose of what it has to do.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have the strength to break that. We might
Not
be
like
able to.
snap it, but
We might be able to jiggle the wheels, one of the wheels enough to where it falls off the track.
As
That
into
would make
like,
it harder to go down.
as into derail it.
Sorta, yeah.
we'd have to lift it though to do that, right?
The Silkspinner looks at you and goes, Not necessarily. May I?
Go for it.
Take a step back, if you please. And she is going to climb up into the side onto the ceiling, and she is going to cast Thunderwave.
That'll
do it.
Doing so in this instance, as she casts it, there's this loud crack sound that resonates through the cavern as the minecart slides off of the railing and is now embedded slightly in the stone below, as it has fallen and will be very difficult to re-rail such a cart, making this a very difficult piece of terrain now.
Okay.
That works.
She's going to climb off. We should have...
Okay.
That would have been a very good obstacle to use earlier, but we didn't have much time since your last visit.
Hmm.
And with the others showing up.
The other way out of that first chamber, with the small hidden passage.
Yes.
We didn't spot it the first time. We only stumbled upon it by accident. Can you re-hide it again?
I can do
want them
that.
going through that way.
Okay. So she's going to go and she's going to reconceal this area.
Mhm.
Okay. Would you like to meet back up around the other side, or would you prefer to meet back up where you are?
Where we are, we have more to put here.
Okay, so she will take her time and go all the way around to meet back up here with you after she's concealed it back up. So what did you want to do?
All right. Now, we need rocks. Actually,
Pings the rubble
know.
pit.
I know.
Refresh my memory, Chris. How far down was it into the pit?
The rubble pit, because you were going at a slight... oh wait, do you mean the rocks in the pit themselves?
Like how far down? Yeah.
Yeah, from here
this
down
ledge
there.
into the rubble pit, it's
Yeah.
about a 1 to 2 foot drop. So you could step into the top of the rubble pit. You don't know
Okay,
how
so
deep the rubble
we'll have
pit
to
itself
move it.
is, but you know that it's there still. And
So
this entire
instead of-
area is uphill as well. So
Instead of doing that there, do you want to do it down here instead?
Sure.
Refresh my memory, please. How
Mhm.
far is it from here? From here to here? Into the water?
I want to say a 30-foot drop. This is past the rubble pit, underground pool. No, that's the stuff regarding the minecart. The water is 30 foot below the ledge, however, it is also 15 feet deep.
Okay, so it should be fine for the purposes. How much can your webs hold?
Depends on how many I use. Most things.
Kay comes over to here.
Okay.
We want to coat this area in webs and have like rocks on the sides of here that are being held by the webs, and then a tripwire somewhere around this area or something where when it's hit, whatever is keeping the webs up, however we do it, lets it go, and the rocks pull the webs and whatever's stuck to them down into the water.
That sounds viable. Vinny, are you with them as well during this?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Moved on.
At this point, with your speak with animals still up from your ring, you hear her otherwise say out, picking up the flute and saying or the whistle and saying something through it. You three, come and help us with moving some rocks onto the ceiling. And you watch as 3 angler spiders otherwise come through with their large sticky webs, one of which was getting very close to UK before she said that. And you watch as they kind of pull their webs back up and they begin to trot through under command and begin to grab rocks, and with their large kind of sticky thread begin to attach them to the ceiling above. I would like both of you to roll me investigation and or stealth checks, 1 each, please, to otherwise hide the tripwire and the putting the rocks in such a way that they do not look obvious. After this, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll move back to Romulus and Damian. So
Can't even remember his name.
no, I can't. So if you two want to start going for your break,
Preparing for when I'm not here.
yeah. So if you two, true. So if the two of you want to go ahead and take a quick break while we finish this up, and then I'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll begin once you're ready.
Which one would you like to do? Investigation or stealth?
Yeah.
I'm better at stealth, but I'm decent at both. I can try and be a bit more methodical with investigation if you want to.
Yeah, Kay
Want to
spends
try and be more
most of his
sneaky?
Kay spends most of his time being sneaky, so I feel like that would fit
makes
him
sense.
more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Go ahead and make me stealth check and investigation check respectively.
Okay.
Stealth check. Tripwire is very well hidden. Investigation check.
It's okay. It's a 13.
13.
26.
26. As the process is taken care of, in this instance, because you rolled lower with the investigation here, I will allow you to roll again, as if under the effect of luck, as you have the help of 3 angular spiders and a silk spinner.
Okay.
Yeah, as you
Angular spiders.
angler spiders.
Oh, right, that makes more sense.
Yeah, angular spiders. They fire right angles at people.
Doesn't really help.
No. So in this instance, as the angler spiders are helping to lift the rocks up into place, and the silk spinner is kind of spreading them out using webs to kind of hold them into place, you're doing your best to try and like keep an eye, and you note where they are, making sure it looks natural as best you can, and helping with that, kind of pointing out and giving directions. It looks fairly well hidden and flush against the wall or the ceiling, and in such a way that when it does collapse with the tripwire mechanism, it should be okay. The tripwire mechanism is very difficult to do with silk, mind you, but it isn't unreasonable. As you otherwise look to see if you can follow where the silkwire tripwire is, you look down and you can't see it. All you see is K, as he's otherwise standing there, and as he's looking, his head like resting on the ground, and you can barely see the faintest line of silk running just maybe a millimeter above the top of the track. It is superbly hidden.
If we'd used any more tripwires, they'd probably be on the lookout for them. But as it is, we should get away with this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. With carefully manoeuvring round, we will proceed into the next chamber, which you may trap if you wish, but we will get to you in a bit. Or if there's anything else you would like to do. During this time, the Silk Spinner mentions that I can web this up and just make it difficult to get around. Or alternatively, we can work on getting that Jade for you ahead of time, and then just stay on patrol if you'd like.
We have one more thing we'd like to do in this spot, and then we can do whatever.
Sounds good. Okay, so we'll get to you in a moment. So, I'm going to take a quick break, and for those of you who haven't taken a quick break, go ahead and do so. And when I get back, I will handle Damian and Romulus in their section of the investigation, and we'll move into the last few checks for this. Alright, be back in just a moment.
Alright.
So, for everybody else, do you know if you gain, having leveled up, do you gain those spell points automatically?
I believe so, yes.
So
Yeah.
I had
The
6,
spell-
and I've now got 14, so I have 8 spell points.
Like if your maximum
Yeah.
went up, your minimum should go, your current should go up by the same
Right,
amount. Yeah.
cool, okay. That's good to know. Just that it actually helps, because, you know, means I got spell points.
Yeah, you can cast spells again.
I can do things! Yay!
Ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead. Dong, the witch is dead.
I'm gonna go make a cup of tea quick.
So I'm really interested now which way we're going to leave the mine, because we might have to contend with a giant toad.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
just- That's just something we gotta deal with.
Oh,
Or we might go back and he's still stuck there. Or waiting. Still waiting.
Right, I am back. Okay, so Romulus, you here? Take that as a no.
that's alarming.
I guess
it's
not.
not inconceivable that he's been muted the entire time.
Yeah.
But he's
I mean, he
Yeah.
said something beforehand, but I think it's just because where I said to go take a break, so he'll be back with a cup of tea in a few minutes.
I was just checking with the other guys that because I leveled up, I gained the 8 spell points that my maximum went up by.
Yes, correct.
Cool.
You also
So-
gained the extra tech stuff as before.
Yeah, that's fine. We can sort all the stuff that isn't overly important.
Yeah.
Well,
Your current and your maximum went up, and you're also able to cast at 2nd level now if you wish.
Oh,
For anything that would scale, obviously.
yeah. So I was just like, I don't actually know what that could be. What
Okay,
have I
I
got?
guess we just wait until Romulus is back.
Uh,
And Harlan, if you are saying stuff, you are muted.
oh. Okay, that's handy.
Just take stock of if his mouse moves at all. Where is-
question.
Where is his mouse currently? Where is his mouse?
Blue, yellow,
Purple.
red, white.
He is connected, so his hand should be somewhere.
It's right here. Right
Thank
above
you.
his name.
Alright, thank you.
In his area.
I can keep stock of it.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult would it be to make a delayed trap
With
with
silk?
webs?
Without
Yes.
a proper mechanism, very.
Still worth a shot.
It's worth a shot. I mean, it might go off instantly, but it's possible.
Wait, gain alarm.
Hmm?
I've got alarm apparently, but it's not under the Paladin spell list.
Yes, because you are a Oath of the Watchers.
Ah, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, should be marked with an orange background as opposed to a yellow one to
Yeah.
indicate that it comes from something else.
Right.
Ooh.
I use this.
We
website.
might not. Might not be able to watch his hand for very much longer. He's
Why?
having a connectivity issue.
Oh no! One just disappears like nah. Kirv and Cat, are you two ready at the moment? That'll be a no.
I guess not.
You two are still here though, and you didn't need to take a break, did you, Vinny and Kay?
I'm still here. I didn't have to do anything.
I'm still here, yeah.
Alright, we'll continue with you until one of the other groups is ready.
Okay.
So, as you three web a few things up, move over to here, what was your next trap idea?
All right. So we have a delay. We have a multi-delay trap system here.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing is, we want to set up a thing around here where if they hit it, a short while after they hit it, so while they're walking still, a oil flask will fall down onto the ground and break open. And then shortly after it, a lit candle will fall down onto the oil flask, catching it on fire, and whoever's on it.
The Silkspinner looks at you and kind of pauses for a moment.
We'll be in this room to stop it from spreading. But it's more to get them to jump into the water and inconvenience themselves.
Oh, wow. The Silkspinner looks at you and goes, "We won't need the oil. I guess you didn't
Oh?
try, did you?
What?
The silk is highly flammable.
Oh.
We can just have a silk net go off. It'll trap them in place and burn them until they jump into the water.
I like that idea.
That way we can just..."
That works for me.
Yeah, we didn't try to catch them on fire. I told them not to because I didn't want to be that mean to the webs.
Thank you.
Yeah. We also figured that fire was just going to be sort of dangerous in general. So it's nice to be vindicated on that.
Cat's wild magic goes off, explodes, sets everything on fire.
Well, hey, I was right.
It's true. So, with that being the case, I would like both of you to go ahead and roll me another stealth investigation check as you see fit. If you wish to swap places, you can.
Would you like to swap this time?
We can try the other way around if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Investigation and stealth.
Oh, okay.
Okay, asking to swap may have been a bad idea.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
The game does. The game definitely did not.
No, it did
Hold
not
on.
like that.
Let's see if
All right,
I say
I'll
I'm
say-
rolling a. Let's
Ooh.
see. Let's see what the game says if I say I'm rolling a stealth check.
Okay,
I'm rolling a stealth
Okay,
check.
so you roll a stealth, Vinny roll an investigation. I want to see, we'll take this as your second check if it ends up being...
It's a 7.
Mhm.
It's a lot better. And a 9. We
Ag-
both
again,
did better.
Better, that's an 11.
It's very hard not to do better. Okay, so in this instance, the first time round as you begin setting up this trap, it goes relatively well. You've got the candle, you light the candle, it catches fire, Kay's up there. Okay, you take 6 points of fire damage. That's a lot of damage. 6 points of fire damage. As the web catches on fire, you hit the ground and the silk spinner begins to use druidcraft to put out the fire. Beginning to kind of try and help put out the fire and stop you from burning any further, as the fire doesn't get very far, but you still suffer some nasty burns. The next time around, you try it slightly differently. And the spiders put the stuff up there and an unlit candle up there, which can be lit with druidcraft when the people get close.
Yes.
This way there's no accidental setting off of the trap or anybody getting on fire, but it happens.
We forgot to not light the candle. That was the plan to begin with. It was supposed to be an unlit candle.
I know, it was just one of those things of like, well, natural one. So, with that, you move on into the next room. And at this point, are you waiting or going on patrol or that sort of thing?
I think we'll take her up on her offer of getting the Jade that we're gonna be getting, and then patrol. Then
There was
waiting.
one other thing we could do.
Oh.
We were going to move all the bodies, right?
Oh yeah. We were gonna move some of the bodies into the first room to try and scare them off.
Might be harder now, but we could move them all in here. If we wanted to.
Yeah, we could move a few in here and as well.
The first chamber is still accessible, it's just I covered it up. We can always make a hole through the webbing temporarily and take the bodies through. Spiders-wise, I mean.
Okay, let's do that then.
You'll just need to watch our back in case anybody shows up.
That's
we
fine.
can do that.
Yeah, we don't want to harm the bodies in any way. But if we're moving them out anyway.
Understood. Most of them are drained anyway. Most of them are just skeletons at this point, but still. Okay. I would like both of you to roll me d20 rolls. If either of you roll a 1, the adventurers show up now, as you're dragging the bodies through. Nope.
A 9.
Nope.
And an 8.
It's an 8.
We're fine.
You're fine. So, in this instance, as the bodies are being dragged up there, the giant spiders are pulling them through, dragging them up, setting them up and lying them against the boxes. On a total head count throughout the entire thing, you count about 30 to 40 bodies. You know that the rough body count of the miners and the excavation team was about 30 at most. You've got at least 2 to 3 adventuring parties mixed in with this.
I might search these bodies later.
And if you want, I'll allow you to do an investigation check as they're being dragged into the area. I will say it's a disadvantage unless you're going to try and stop a few select ones as opposed to searching all of them.
Can just by looking at these cocoons, can Kay tell if any of these guys have like? They look like they're better equipped just by the cocoon itself?
By the cocoon itself, no. You'd need to tear the webbing open and give it a look.
Then I'll just go general.
Okay.
So
Go
I'll
ahead.
go
Investigation
with
check
disadvantage.
with disadvantage. Okay. And this would be for the sort of things that didn't get fully covered over or bits that are hanging out.
That's
wow.
really good.
That's pretty good for
Investigation?
investigation with disadvantage.
That is a 20 total.
Okay, 20 total. Looking over a number of them, you can see that quite a few of them have what look to be small pieces of what look to be bits and pieces on them. Small trinkets, baubles, lockets. A lot of these have mementos on them. Things that were carried by people as a memory or a reminder of something. One of them in particular, however, very much catches your eye as you are looking over it. Kind of this subtle hint of
Apologies for my
something.
late comeback.
No, that's fine. A subtle hint of something as you look over the surface of it. As you stop and... as you otherwise stop the spider in place. The spider halts and you go over and you see what looks to be this glint of something. And as you otherwise get a little bit more of a closer look at it, you note that there is a magical essence to this.
Ooh. I'm taking whatever this magical essence thing is.
Okay. As you otherwise pull it free, the essence of the magic seems to be what looks to be a basic evocation style magic from what you can gather. And you pull out what looks to be a relatively well-made and very nice-looking dagger. The dagger itself has basic inscriptions across the surface of it. It is, for all intents and purposes, a subtle dagger, and it is magical. It has no other bonuses other than the properties that the subtle dagger would have. It is a basic enchantment to make it a magical weapon.
Ooh. Okay. So, hold on. This just says another creature, so it could be friend or foe, right?
Yes. So the idea is that the individual is distracted, regardless of friend or foe.
Okay. Interesting. And that's still usable at range, like if I throw the dagger?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The dagger in question, as you otherwise look at it, is kind of almost this brownish texture metal. It's a bit odd, but it is metal and it's just made slightly weirdly, almost looks like it's rusted. But given the magical nature and your basic understanding of magic still, but this can't have rusted. As you get a look over the dagger, it is okay. I mean, it's not a bad dagger by any means, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a magical dagger.
It feels agile in your hand as you give it a quick swish around.
I like it. I will replace my main dagger with this dagger on my waist.
Okay.
Wherever I
And-
keep my dagger.
Yeah, and the silk spinner will otherwise get you the 4 jade pieces that you requested, and these 4 jade pieces will be given to you as your coverage of what happens here.
Alright. And
Okay.
then I will be waiting near the candle for when things happen so I can light the candle.
As will she. Vinny, are you staying nearby as well, or are you doing something else?
I like to say it.
There is one more thing we can try if they get this far. So
Okay.
I'm going to move a little further back
Mhm.
and wait around here.
In case something happens. Understood. So, moving on to one of the other groups, Damian and Romulus.
Hello.
You are
Hello.
currently excavating.
Yes.
What is your plan?
I'm gonna bless Romulus.
Okay. So this will give him, I'll say, an additional d4 for his attacks here.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I will be attempting to do things.
The same thing as before?
Same thing as before. Do I still have the same? Oh, excuse me.
That would clear quite a bit of the tunnel.
Just a hole is
Yeah,
carved
Romu-
straight through as he sneezes.
Reckless sneezer.
Yeah, genuinely, I would be tempted by that, but no. Am I still constrained by having that range, or am I just trying to beat a certain point now? Like, does it appear as if the
the first part of the main cave-in has collapsed and supported itself. You'd have to investigate it again to figure out if going further in would cause similar cave-ins or if you're safe.
Behind you, I could do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So nature or history check from Damian and Romulus if you want to make attack rolls. Again with your D4, and the guy behind and the Silkspinner is going to be using web to continue to support the ceiling and keep it upright in the event that you roll too low. So he'll be increasing your minimum or decreasing the DC. Sorry. So go ahead.
Well, I will be recklessing as ever.
Okay.
I'm going to do history with the intent to see if anything has seemingly changed since I last looked up.
Okay, go for it.
That
Okay.
History, did I say? That's an 18.
Okay.
So this is an attack roll, right?
Okay. 18. This would be an attack roll, yes. So it'd be a 26.
Yeah. Yeah, plus the D4.
D4.
That's 29.
29. Okay. Looking at it in terms of the cave-in, seeing if anything's changed, the only big thing is that big bit of rock that fell in front. And at this particular moment, as you're otherwise looking at that big bit of rock and looking beyond, you have a interesting moment where you think that big bit of rock, if not broken, could be used as a very nice support for the rest of the tunnel. I'll say that you can tell Romulus this now before he breaks it, and then I'll allow that 29 to carry over as him lifting it up to support the cavern if you wish. Given that you would technically be doing this roll beforehand.
Hang on, hang on. Holding up.
So the big bit of rock that almost crushed Romulus over. The further in. So right now Romulus is maybe this far or this far into the tunnel beyond.
Okay, so
the big bit of
the exit one day? No?
No, the big bit of rock that fell and almost crushed Romulus within the tunnel earlier.
Yeah.
He can lift that up to support the tunnel further if he props it correctly. In the event that there were a cave-in further in. So it would act like a safety mechanism.
Oh, okay, so basically, like, it's not like a nice round bit of rock, it's probably at a length, and I've noticed that...
Yeah, it's like a...
turn it from the position it's laying down at, you can prop it up.
Yeah, it's like a sharp oval almost.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, that would seem a sensible thing to do.
Okay, so letting Romulus know this. The 29 carries over to pushing it into place in this instance. I will let the 29 carry because your lowest roll was a 17, so it'd be that or something else.
But it would have been a 28.
So either way, yeah. In this instance, you lift up the rock, and with that amount, which would have been a high DC, probably 25 for lifting this rock, you lift it and you put it into place as the rock will hold up the chamber and is going to remove the extended DC for going over the top. As you have now got a support on the cavern. So if you would like to go ahead and make me another attack roll, this will be for the going further into the cavern and cutting through it.
I still got bless?
You still got bless. Yeah, you still got bless, and the DC has been lowered because web is still being used to hold the large rock in place.
Well, it's the 17.
17 is still plenty against the DC. DC currently is 14, so as you're otherwise mining through, taking large chunks away with the pickaxe is taking a fair bit of brunt for this, but you being strong, you begin to otherwise break through the stone, taking bits away. Damian's shoveling it to one side. The Silkspinner is otherwise webbing the large chunks to the ceiling, holding them in place. As you continue to bore your way through, and I'll say go ahead and make me one final roll to break through to the other side.
Leroy Jenkins.
Easily enough. Breaking through the last bit, you hit the other side and you feel a bit of the rock give, and as you pull it away, it tumbles down towards you and tumbles away from you, to which you see what looks to be a elven sentry currently standing there, kind of much heavier armor than these Silkspinners, and a spit and a pike currently pointed directly at you from about 15 feet away. As he goes to take a jab at you, you will have 3/4 cover because of the rocks. Okay, that is a miss. As he is attacking at you from surprise, but still with your 3/4 cover, does not manage to meet your AC, as the pike just nicks, almost cutting through a portion of your through the portion of your jaw and neck. You feel as it pierces by before you hear a shout in Elven from behind you. which you don't quite understand, to which the sentry otherwise stops, looks confused for a moment as the silk spinner climbs past and kind of lifts his hand before saying in common, For the sake of our friends here, they've been helping us get back through. The sentry nods and says back in common, Thank you for that. You recruited help, then I take it? Indeed, and they're willing to help us get the artifact through and carry it back. Through to the tunnel at least, so we can ship it through. Understood. And to which you hear kind of a whistle from behind, and you watch as the tunnel, which is much larger going this way, where the cave-in has drastically reduced the size of the original tunnel, and you've kind of bored your way through with a human size, or for a medium creature to easily move through it, you can see it was a much larger tunnel beyond. And you see this large spider, far larger than ones you've seen thus far, probably about 20 to 30 feet across, begin to kind of cling across the surface of the ceiling, with these deep red and orange veins running across the surface of its chitin and abdomen. And as it otherwise approaches, it slinks down to one side and bows its head, to which you see what looks to be this large, almost saddle-like carrier on its back, where you can see there's almost this recess set and waiting for the artifact, it would seem.
I'm gonna turn to the silk spinner who's accompanied us and say, I got a bit of a weird itching sensation from earlier. Do you know anything about that?
Ah, that will be because of the spider blight. When your mining friends damaged the crystal before, it reacted and created the disease that's contained within these artifacts. We help protect and contain it. It's highly contagious between bites, saliva, and otherwise.
So you advise that I don't bite anyone?
Correct.
Okay, is there a cure?
Bed rest will cure you.
Oh,
If you
okay.
get to a point that you begin to turn into a spider, then the cure will require some extra assistance.
That makes sense.
Guess it's a good thing Kay didn't get this. He
Yeah,
bites
very true.
everything.
He's biting everything, and that's very, very true. I believe you
Kay
succeeded.
turns
I
the
believe you succeeded the one save I had you make against Spider Blight, and I was like, done.
Yeah, I believe I rolled a nat 20 for it.
I think so. Yeah.
Does this impact food?
No, it'll only impact living things.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Damian. Did you just say would it impact food?
It's a valid question. If biting a bit of
Alright.
food would infect it, and then somebody else ate the food that he didn't eat, would they get infected too?
All right.
The
well,
answer
like,
is no.
I was wondering if he was saying like, "Oh, I bite into a sandwich. Suddenly, the sandwich is a spider," because that would be ridiculous.
I was wondering if I mean it's magic. No, possible.
No,
I mean,
that is a valid question, but no, that's not how it works.
That's good. That's good to know.
Regardless.
You talk medically. I must ask.
Regardless, let us return to your friends. He otherwise turns to his to the centurion and goes and says something in Elvish in return. Before the centurion nods and otherwise puts his hand against the wall, and you watch this what looks to be this large kind of hairy black spider crawls onto the back of his hand, which he lifts to his mouth, says something, and then puts it back on the wall, and you watch it just skitters away. Okay. And you may return to the rest.
Common.
Hmm?
No, sorry, wait. Sprechen de Sylvan. I say after they speak Elvish.
The Silkspinner next to you recognizes the language and goes and says in common, I don't speak Sylvan. That would be more of our higher-ups who would speak that.
Damn. So, I picked it up in college and just never gotten to use it.
That's fair. It's not necessarily a common language that we're able to utilize. You'd have been better learning Elvish. It's more universal. Anyway, let's return to your friends and see how things are going. Speaking of how things are going, Kirv and Cat. What is the game plan? You see before you, the core is otherwise held within the shell. The shell has taken a little bit of damage. It's taken a bit, but not a lot. It's not healing or anything. It's still the shell around the outside. One of the roots has shattered off, and the rock around the outside is vulnerable. It can be cut through now without worrying about any downsides. Until you hit the next root, of course.
Okay, right.
Did I check something? You said the root shattered off. Is the actual root shattered, or is it like a piece?
So when you hit the root, the whole root just kind of snapped, fell to the ground, and then turned into that necrotic burst.
Oh.
So the root itself has shattered into tiny pieces and flecks of glass, but then the magic that was contained within has infected you two already. Actually, speaking of, Kirv, you failed, didn't
You're
you?
infested.
No, that's actually a point. I forgot about that. Kirv, you failed the save, so please mark down that you somewhere that you have 1 point of 1 toxin level's worth of spider blight.
Nice.
Is that a -1, or is that just?
Just note down somewhere on your character sheet 1
I
toxin
put it in
level.
personal treasures.
You put it in personal
Oh,
treasure.
yeah.
And if I remember correctly, the spider blight gives you so far it gives you a -1 to abilities and attack rolls.
I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know.
I'm gonna double check. It's either that or something. No. The first level just means you can't be immune to disease or poison.
That's it.
That's right. The second one is -1.
Second one must do that. Cool.
Yeah, it gets progressively worse. So yeah, you're infected with 1 level of spider blight as your skin begins to itch.
Oh no, I got the biter splight.
So, what is the game plan, you two?
Okay, I have one that we discussed and I've just thought of another one. So to start with, I'm going to go over and I'm going to investigate. Is there any way we can get this out now that we've made an opening / freed it up a little bit?
So asking if there's yeah,
So basically do an investigation check to see like how loose it is and how easy it'll be to actually free now.
Okay, I'll say go ahead and make me that investigation check. And Kay, if you did want to ask that, the Silkspinner will say, I will guard this place on my own then, but do you trust in that they can fight on their own if you go back? Okay.
Well, I haven't seen their abilities, so I don't know.
And remember, this would be you saying this would be during the time that still Romulus and Damian are still cutting through the hole, and Kirv and Cat are still going through this. So they'd probably still have 1 or 2 more checks before you even got back. So that would still be something to take into account.
Kay will just ask if they can tell the little spiders not to attack my rats, and let my rats see if they need help or not.
Okay, that will be allowed, yeah. The rats have to stay within 90 feet of you, I believe, so they'd be able to get up to where Vinny is, but they wouldn't be able to stay with the Silkspinner.
No, I meant for going to check on them.
Oh, I see. Okay. In which case,
Kay doesn't know where they went, so he'd be checking on them.
Yeah,
and
no,
see
that's
how they're
fair.
doing.
I am going to roll some wisdom saves for the spiderlings to show restraint. You lose 3 rats as all of them fail their wisdom saves.
Oh wow.
Damn it, spiderlings.
They have been denied food, e.g. Kirv earlier, so they had to feed at some point.
Look, Kay will spank them later.
All right.
They need to be taught a lesson.
Several rats later, you will learn what happens in a little bit with Kirv and Cat. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
So what was the investigation total?
26.
26. Looking at it, the shell has taken a little bit of damage. It would take probably 1 good hit to break into it, and then another one to wedge and otherwise crack it open, like you would if you were trying to use like a lever to push it open. If you were looking to pull it out of the stone in its current state, you would need someone of very raw, girthy strength to do this, as I'd say the DC would probably be 70. And it would need to be made by one person. We're looking at the fact that it is embedded solidly in the wall. You've still cut away 1/8 of it, unless you're cutting away more of it.
Okay, so if we cut away more of it, it should be able to be levered out.
I think that's the best plan of action.
Okay, alright. Secondly, and I don't know how possible this is, and we're not in like some bonkers rush here. Can I cast Identify on it?
You can. Are you going to ritual cast this, or?
No, it's not it.
Okay.
I'll just take off it.
Okay. Go ahead and cast Identify. Use the spell points, and go ahead and roll your D20 roll, then, please, for wild magic, which is 1 plus another 1 because you're below half, and another 1 because of the first fail on the wild magic influences is with a. Okay, so you're fine. You cast Identify on it. As your palm hits the touch of it, I believe it was Gluttony you went for, so go ahead and roll me another con save, please. Wrong button. Let it drop and roll. Sorry.
Actually, I got my Ties of Chaos back, didn't I? Because Chaos.
Yeah, you did.
It's not much better, it's 10, so
10?
whatever.
Versus the DC of 13 in this instance, as you otherwise place your hand on it, you feel like this insatiable urge to be full, to eat something. Do you have any food in your inventory?
I believe so. I think I've got a ration.
How many rations do you have?
I'm running very low on rations. Where are you? Rations? 2.
2? You eat both of them.
Oh, what a pig.
And they provide no nutritional value to your character.
Oh, okay. No rations.
If you have any other kind of food or any drink, you will also consume that as well until 6 items have been eaten or destroyed.
Huh?
If you cannot meet the quota, you will take 1 damage per item you could not eat.
Have you got a water skin?
I've got a water skin,
So that would
and I've
that would
got
use up 1 of
5
your things.
bits of them cheese left.
So you would eat. What are we talking cheese? We're talking like wedges of cheese?
The cheese board that I brought.
Oh, the cheese board that you brought. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you drink your water skin and eat 3 whole bits of cheese, and they provide you no nutritional value.
Okay, so I've got 2 bits of cheese, no water. Let's go. Right. Cool.
Okay. After you finish that, your Identify spell finishes, and you pick up on the Jade core. You note that it is corrupted and currently cursed, as it is in a self-defensive mode. It is attempting to defend itself by infecting the land around it. This isn't the initial intention of this, but you do pick up that these purify conditions when in a state of harmony.
Sorry, harmony.
Yes.
Harmony.
Yes. So when being unaggravated, such through the ritual to calm it, then these will cure conditions as opposed to inflict them. You suspect that these are used for, in this instance with your Identify spell, plus what was said earlier, these crystals seem to be used to enhance and otherwise encourage fertility amongst the spiderlings, so that they hatch more successfully.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. This is a long shot, because why the hell not? I've got nothing better to do before we start resuming the pulverization.
Is there any chance that by this point my dad senses a tingling and I'm like, oh no, some bad shit's going to go down and it's going to be Cat's fault?
Yeah, and you're halfway through digging a mine, and there's a Damian behind you, and you're like, if I leave now, it's difficult. But you feel like this twitch in your butt cheeks is like something's wrong.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this.
Okay, so I'm gonna look down at Cytonia. So this rock is upset. Can you help calm it down?
Okay. No, you know what? This... Okay, go ahead and roll me a d20 and add a plus 12 to it for Sychania's attack modifier.
Fucking Christ, you know
That's
what?
nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
my god.
You watch as in this moment, as you look at Sychania and say this, Kirv, for the first time, you've not really noticed this before, but as kind of Cat moves her arm, you watch as this chain that's wrapped around her arm with almost this arrowhead-like crystal at the front of it looks up almost like a snake, nods at Cat, and rockets towards the core. You hear a splitting sound, which in that moment, instinctively, Cat, you're like, oh no, has Sychania broken? As Sychania cuts straight through the shell, and you hear this resonating ding sound as it hits the core. And you watch as there's an explosion of bright white and green light, and you watch as the black veins that are on the outside of it recede down and into Sychania. Please note that you are now cracked by 2 levels.
Oh god, that didn't work very well in my favour.
However, as that happens, the shell at the front opens up and the core is beginning to roll out. But it's safe and it's in harmony.
I will pick up the core gently and I will hand it to the silk spinner. There you go.
The silk spinner takes it. That was something. Kind of just holds the core there for a moment and then looks up at you. Are you okay? And is beginning to squint at the side of your face.
Why?
You've got cracks. And begins to point at using himself as a demonstration on the right side of his face.
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Roll an intimidation check.
Does she get an advantage because he might still think that Kay might be coming back?
I'll say no because the cat so far the rats have been intercepted. So this is an intimidation check, please.
This water, this lake. Okay, was it still?
For the most part, yeah. Oh, unless you know, because it was bubbling, so no, it wouldn't have
Okay,
been.
right.
As you otherwise say, what's the total
10.
there, Kirv? 10?
Mhm.
Oh, roll the wisdom save on his part. Okay. As he says this, he goes, I mean, look, it's not... I'm not talking about wrinkles. And he gestures to the side of Cat's face, where you can see past her hairline on the right-hand side, which obscures a little bit of her right-hand side of her face. You can see around her ear and almost beginning to creep down her neck are these very thin black, red, and purple cracks like lightning. As you watch as they almost pulse slightly, almost like a heartbeat for a moment, before they begin to slowly fade.
Is that contagious? As I take a step back.
No, that's not very nice.
I'm assuming Cat's gonna twig what's going on here. Okay. This can't be happening. Yeah, just in pure panic, Cat's gonna cast Disguise Self to hide it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a wild magic check.
Fireball!
I'll see. Disguise up as first level. Okay, so you're fine.
Oh,
Right between 2 possible wild magics right there.
yeah, that one and 2 are taunting us.
Yeah, they are. So you cast Disguise Self and you watch Kirv as you watch as her skin fades immediately to a normal complexion for her.
You ever thought about seeing a doctor?
It's nothing. It's just some marks. It probably just
They'll buff out.
I just want it noted that when Kirv says doctor, K's ears twitch.
God.
Oh man, both groups are like, something's wrong. What's going on down there?
How? Okay, I need you to tell me exactly when Romulus is free to go about his business, because he will be just like running over here, be like,
Well-
something's not right, something's not right.
Well, given that was an automatic success on what would have been the second check. So if anything, Cat is the first. Cat and Kirv are the first group to finish. So what would you like to do in this instance? You've got the core. As he looks down at the core itself, just so you get a general size reference to this, it's about a foot across in diameter. It's not a small bead. We're talking a Sauron orb.
Okay.
Paladin
Well,
tier.
we can always go and help.
Paladin tier, the seeing stones.
Yes,
Yeah,
that size.
I like
Fucking
Sauron.
nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get you the chapter.
All right, Damian. Damian, gain inspiration because you knew the name of that, and the rest of the party's bullying you.
Ah.
I wasn't bullying him.
No, I know, but Romulus and Jamie were. That's the rest of the party, from as far as I'm concerned. All right. No offense.
Rude.
How long does this guy self?
Fine, you can have inspiration too.
An hour.
Thank you.
We can go meet up with a party.
We,
Who do you think needs us most?
I don't. I mean, probably Romulus and Damian. They've got a big
It-
area.
it would be better to take the core to the back. That way, the moment they're finished excavating, they could take the core straight away.
Well, we'll take it straight to there then. Secondly, do you have something reflective I can have?
He otherwise rummages through his bag.
How about a massive
and-
lump of jade in the shape of a mirror?
He rummages through his bag and goes, this might do. And he otherwise holds out what looks to be a shard of glass of some form. Picked it up of one of the adventurers. Some form of spellcasting component or something. You'd recognize it as the component for homing blade.
Really helpful.
Nice.
That right there is a cantrip that would
Okay.
be hilarious for me to learn.
Oh my god. Okay. Thank you. How reflective is it?
In terms of the glass, if with the light that you've got coming from your dagger, you could hold it in the right manner that you could create a decent reflection.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's not much point now. I've got disguised self up.
Reflect on your actions. All that genocide you've done the last few sessions.
I feel a need to kill Damian. It might be the dust from the crystal, but
I want it noted that K's ears twitch again. Party member dies? Food? What?
let's go take this back to the back and help them excavate the last of the path.
Okay.
Don't tell anyone about what's happened until I understand. I
Me?
don't want to cause panic. Yeah. I don't
Hey,
want to cause panic
It's
amongst
none of my business.
Okay. And we'll help you
It's
when you're
not a goose.
chance.
It's not a goose. I don't care.
Okay. Alright. Then we'll head and go take the orb to the exit.
Alright. Okay. Heading through with the guidance of one of the other spiders, I will now reveal the extra area that I showed the others. As you are led through this particular area with the guide of the Silkspinner, and you are led through into this large section here. As you are led through what looks to be a cave filled with a few mushrooms, being careful not to break the webs. There are coatings of spiders on spiders, and there are giant spiders otherwise lingering around in this area. More trapdoor spiders, mushrooms, jade, As you otherwise head through, you reach what looks to be a rather large kind of glowing bit of jade that's hanging from the ceiling. About the same size as the core that you have. The core that is up there looks a little bit more rough-hewn, but it otherwise looks the same. With the same kind of glow. As he carries it through, you note his brother, the leader, kind of turns around as you watch as he leaves the tunnel with Romulus and Damian both exiting as well, as the two of you now see Kirv and Cat returning with the large orb in hand.
Done.
Are you alright? What happened?
Yeah, it was just upset, so we had to calm it down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Sidechain.
I am like scanning, or I'm completely scanning over Cat, being like, okay, there's got to be something. Is there another creature that you've adopted? Is there a grievous wound you're going to pass out from?
No, but I mean, Sidechain calmed the rock down, and yeah, everything's perfectly fine.
So, wait.
Oh,
it was upset?
Sidechania calmed the rock down, did Sidechania? How nice of Sidechania.
You watch as the Silkspinner goes up to his brother and hands him the orb. And he takes it and goes, "Well done, both of you. Thank you for getting us this orb, and thank you, Romulus and Damian, for carving a way through. I'll give this to the Centurion, and they'll take it back to the hive. Brother, if you'd be so kind as to go and inform our companion, if she'd be willing to return back through here." The brother otherwise nods. Will do. And otherwise nods to his brother and then rushes off down back through one of the corridors.
Can I just like put my foot out so he trips on the way?
Roll me. What would this be? Yeah, roll me a contested strength check.
I don't know what that means.
So,
Contested.
so I'm rolling my strength versus your strength. So
Oh,
yours is just
okay.
D20 plus strength. That's a 3 on my part.
Oh, there's a 1 on.
Or 1 on your part. As you go to put
Plus
your
2.
you go to
Almost impressive.
you go to put your foot out, and in that moment his foot catches, and you watch as he stumbles. But you end up being pulled with him as you spin around and end up on your back looking up at the crystal with him otherwise kind of stumbling past. Yeah, I'm going to have them both roll insight checks against you.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So the older brother turns around and goes, "Is everything all right?" And the younger brother looks up, squinty eyes at you with a natural 20.
Oh.
And just stares daggers at you. Kind of gets up, brushes himself off. And looks very carefully at you before saying something in Elvish, which none of you understand, before turning and leaving.
I'm just going to go over. I don't think we ever actually were introduced.
No, I'm Kirv.
Romulus,
Pleasure to meet you.
I understand you are searching for a goose.
Indeed.
We will attempt to locate this goose. I too know the sadness of a creature that is our friend now lost to us.
Well, to be frank, I don't really care much about the goose, but
You don't care about the goose?
but someone who's very important cares about the goose.
All right. Well, that's close enough.
Whilst they're talking, I'm gonna pull the other elven Silkspinner to the side and have a very quiet conversation.
Okay, I'll say Romulus is over here and you swap places. Okay.
This is Damian, like, I have no idea what's just happened there, but I don't want that to be of any issue to me. And I was like, I don't know what that was about, but she's a newcomer. She's nothing to do with the rest of us.
Oh, you bastard.
The brother The brother, otherwise, or the older leader here, looks at you and goes, "She might just be being a dick. Alternatively, she might be doing an aggressive action towards us. You've helped us and proved your worth so far, so there's no reason or rhyme why she would do that now, other than to just be an asshole."
Damian.
Either way, she's your problem from here.
Damian just gives a cheeky grin.
And regardless, you watch as he otherwise turns and looks through the hole. You watch the Centurion otherwise walk through and takes the orb and then goes back through the hole. Looking down, you see the otherwise huge spider just begin to carry this orb through the main area here. Actually, no, it wouldn't yet, because the Silkspinner climbs up and grabs the second orb and brings it down and gives it to them as well. The area here is now plunged into darkness, bar the light that the two of you are carrying.
Oh, excellent.
The Silkspinner otherwise then turns back and goes, "Centaurians will be here along with the workers to keep them safe. We're going to strip this place clean of jade and the natural caverns as far as we can. Hopefully there won't be any more resonant jade in here. But now that we've got an escape route and an access point, we should be able to clear this out before we collapse it again."
What about our 4 pieces?
"I can arrange for that." And he otherwise walks over here, scoops up 4 pieces of jade, not being aware that the 4 pieces of jade have been handed to Kay already, and is going to give 4 pieces of jade to Cat.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. And after he does that, I'm gonna grab Romulus and drag him over to this corner.
Heading over to the corner, you immediately get the smell of refuse, where this is obviously where they have been relieving themselves.
Cat really doesn't care at the moment. She's proper panicking. Romulus. The cracks are getting worse. I don't know what that means, but...
You see Romulus go still and cold. We're getting out of here right now, and we're taking you to a doctor or a wizard or whatever we need to do to get this sorted.
That won't help. I don't know what it means. Just...
We need to find out what will help then.
Okay, we need to do some research.
Then we'll do research. Remind me roughly how much Cat weighs?
I think she weighs 700 pounds because she's a centaur. Because she's got the horse body.
She has also now eaten a lot of cheese.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's gained an additional pound worth of
that'll
rations.
fill her up with gas, which means that she'll actually be more buoyant.
696 pounds with the cheese.
Okay, so 696 will round it to 700, given she ate like half a cheese board, a full water skin, and 2 whole lots of rations.
Now, see, my optimal weight is 600 pounds. But I think if I'm carrying someone, that does get buffed up to something.
No, because that's already pre-buffed because you count as a large creature. If you were carrying one of the other party members, it would be easier, but because Cat counts as a large creature, it cancels out. So that's your flat 600 you have.
That's fair enough.
That's
Okay. I can't
right?
just pick you up and drag you out of here.
That's what, sorry, Vinny?
That's carrying capacity, right?
Yes, so carrying capacity is 600, but that's incorporating the large build that Minotaurs get, and so that would mean that carrying Cat, because they're of equal size, would cancel out. So you'd still be able to move, it would just be 5 feet a turn.
Yeah.
It'll be faster to have Cat walk, honestly, because moving around in webs, trying to avoid breaking them, and carrying Cat will be very, very slow.
How does Cat feel? Is she feeling okay?
Yeah,
Like, perfectly
you
fine?
feel
Right.
fine.
Okay.
That's what 4 pieces of cheese do before you suffer serious
It's
magical damage.
strictly the cheese.
Yep.
Gets
Immunity.
It gets worse when it's like, oh, you suffer a random condition, you're now lactose intolerant. Oh no, I ate 4 pieces of cheese.
No.
Cracks get larger.
No. Okay. Right. Well, just before with that all ends, before we all head back, I'm going to drop the sky self. The cracks were on my face. Are they still there?
So Romulus, looking at what you can see of Cat, with the hair kind of dangling down part way, you can see just past the hair, you can see there are cracks that get just close to the ear.
Okay. Right. We should have gotten you we should have been looking into this as a matter of urgency. We'll get back to the city. We'll get everything squared away. And our first priority is making sure that we find out what's happening to you and how to stop it.
I don't want to be poking this or provoking it. I'll tell you. When we're alone, I'll tell you what's happened.
Alright.
Okay. But in the meanwhile, I'm gonna lift the fringe up. How bad is it?
Could be a weird tattoo.
Looking, now that she lifts the fringe up, is it your right or left side?
It's right. Same side of the arm. Yeah, the right.
Yeah, right side. As she lifts the fringe up, you see that her entire eye is black with a red iris. And you see the cracks originate going from the tear duct around the eyebrow, where the eyebrow would be, and across the side of her face down to where her ear is. These are the origins of the crack.
You see a solid wince. Ooh. It's a little noticeable. Maybe keep your fringe down. It's fine. It's fine. We'll find out what this is, and we will fix this.
Know what this is. Okay. I'm gonna loosen the braid slightly, just so it lowers the fringe a little bit more and covers it.
Okay. I'll allow that. So, it is at this time that Kay, as you're otherwise waiting nearby the Silkspinner, Vinny, you watch as the other Silkspinner returns, the younger one, as he's wandering back up and he sees you and goes, is she around at all?
Who, sorry?
The other Silkspinner. The one who you were with.
Just up ahead, I think. She
Oh.
hasn't moved, did she?
No, she hasn't.
Okay.
Oh.
How are things going down there, by the way?
We've got the orb out, or we got the Jade core out, and they've dug out the tunnel. They're just transporting them back to the hive now, and you're just collecting your reward and then heading off. The 4 pieces of jade have been handed off to your friend, and you'll be free to go. We're gonna start moving the eggs out once the spiders arrive.
Right then, we've got traps set up, but I'd prefer not to have to use them if possible, so...
No, that's fair, that's fair. Yeah. And you watch as he otherwise reaches into a pouch and pulls out and then bites off the head of a rat. And goes, do you want some? I didn't know there were still rats in this cave.
Oh my god!
There weren't. They were with us.
Oh!
Listen, it's an honest
he puts the
misunderstanding,
rat
just
down.
Don't let Kay find out.
He puts the rat down. Oh, the dead rat. Down. Okay. He's going to cast web to cover it up, and he's just going to wander past.
No, Kay has sensed that that one of his rats have died close by. He's immediately turning around and investigating. No.
Okay, go ahead. This is going to be a stealth check on his part versus your investigation check here. His stealth is +7. Oh, that's pretty good. I forgot these guys were good at stealth. Okay, that's a good roll. 26. He's good at covering up mistakes he makes. Alright,
Ah.
Okay, so on his part, as you otherwise round the corner, you can see Vinny and this individual and the Silkspinner talking to one another. As you otherwise see this, he goes, "Oh, hi. Are you up ahead?" And he kind of calls out, and she otherwise comes back and goes, "I am. Why, are we done?" Yeah. The other teams were very efficient. Just waiting for the spiders to come back with the Centurions, and they're going to clear the eggs out. And then we're just going to move on from there. How are things with you? I would like Vinny and Kay to both roll perception checks for me, please.
Oh.
It's not great.
I got this.
That's a 12.
Okay.
Slightly less.
Okay.
8.
8. Remember, I did give you inspiration if you want to use it.
Yeah, I'm using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using it. I want to know what's going on. Oh, come on!
Okay. In this instance, as you kind of pause hearing that, you don't hear any disturbances or anything. Okay. Well then, I guess we'll gather back up and go from there. And at that point, as you otherwise group up and you begin to head back, she tells the spiders that are with her to stay put and guard the area just in case. You meet back up with your companions.
Mm-hmm.
As you do, meet all of the Silkspinners meeting up, and you lot all meeting up. The leader otherwise turns to you all and goes, "We thank you very much for your help here. You've definitely made a difference and resolved this peacefully. Know that you'll always be welcome at the Hive if you ever need some allies or some shelter. If you're looking for us, just go deeper in through the Grave Wallow Gorge, further into the bayou, and eventually one of our scouts will spot you. Say you're a friend of the Silkspinners."
Thank you.
Just let them know Silkspinners.
Get his name. It's that one there. Okay. The name is Etwiarosh. I'll type that out for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If I may, if anyone else get flashbacks to Ivan Etniage.
He said the word, and I was just like, "Yep, that's a Chris name."
What? There's only one apostrophe.
Oh.
Oh, only one.
Only one.
Oh, what's that? What's that? Four. No, sorry. 4 vowels, none of which make any sense for where they are.
Oh, you know.
And you're hearing that from our resident expert of stupid names.
Oh yeah.
Look, there's a difference between player stupid names and DM names. DM names have to be complicated because the moment you have 2 Daves in a campaign is the time that the campaigns merge, the streams cross, and everything ends. So I cannot have anything named the same.
So campaign 3, we all name ourselves Dave.
Everyone dies.
Would you consider these people allies of ours now, or what?
Kay considers them allies.
In this instance, they are. In this instance, they would be up to you if you want to consider them allies. As far as they're concerned, you have returned a sacred artifact to them peacefully, did minimal damage, and chose to choose them over money.
Perfect.
To clarify, we're still getting some money, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're still
Oh,
getting
yeah,
money, but
yeah.
you chose to do it the more difficult, peaceful way over just trying to slaughter them.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Kay wishes to try again at the handshake with him. See if he's not so hesitant about it.
Okay. You reach out your hand. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Hell yeah.
Was it double one?
Double one. He looks at your hand.
It's gonna turn out
Okay,
that
yes,
Much better.
Roche is going to translate to like Steve in Spider Elf.
Like,
Steve.
as long as he's not trying to trick us into joining the navy, we'll be fine.
Oh, actually, you know what's bloody great? You know what's absolutely fucking hilarious? Spider Elf is a thing I did 3 Christmases ago. Maybe 4. Wait a second here. I've got a thing for this. If I can find bloody...
Either way, you otherwise stretch out your hand, Kay. He takes it and shakes yours, to which you watch as 2 other individuals from the tunnel at the back enter in, heavily armoured compared to these individuals. One of them seems to be carrying what looks to be a relatively nice-looking scimitar, and the other one otherwise has what looks to be an axe over their shoulder as they kind of wander in. And you watch as spiders begin to push through the hole in the back and begin to move through, along with what looks to be a few individuals carrying what looks to be pickaxes with them. And the individual who otherwise leaves with what looks to be a series of woven silks over the top of his helmet, going down the back of his head, otherwise holding all of his hair in place. Oh, that's horrifying. Otherwise looks at...
Thank you, I made it myself.
Otherwise looks at you two shaking hands, speaks up and says in common for all of you to understand, "Thank you very much for your help in all of this." Otherwise nods and goes, "You have chosen a good side today, and thank you. Etwi, I assure you've informed them of any allies they wish to ask for in the future?" "I have, yes. I have told them they can find us by simply heading further in." "Very good. You will be noted on our list of individuals we can trust. If you look for,
No worries.
if you're looking for work, sanctuary, or anything in particular, feel free to come and ask us. It won't be free necessarily, but we can certainly arrange something. You are, after all, allies. For the time being, and on such short notice, we are willing to give you something in return for your kind actions here. What do you say?"
Thank you.
Yes. You need
Yes,
food.
please.
We would be very grateful.
Okay. So, I would like each group of 2 to decide who is going to receive the reward for their objective.
Well, straightforward. Romulus, would you like a reward?
I mean, look, I
I
feel like I did all
Easy.
I'm not going to say you didn't do anything, Damian, but
No, not much really, to be honest. It's only fair.
Okay, so...
I feel bad. I do feel like a lot of times we just end up bullying you, and I'm so sorry, buddy.
I mean, let's put it this way. If you want to put it in a mechanical sense, Damian will be gone in 3 weeks. For
you know what? Fucking fair. I'm taking it.
He's giving you a freebie. Don't go, "Oh, well, it seems unfair." Don't take the noble high ground. He's gone and he'll be gone soon.
cares?
Cat and Kirv.
Cat.
Yeah.
I'll have the rewards, and I won't tell people about the face cracks.
I think what you see happen is Romulus just starts looming over.
Hold on. Kirv, go ahead and make me a stealth check, please, versus
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
passive perception.
Yes.
I was joking.
Chris wasn't.
I wasn't.
Let's go.
Let's see how many party members know about the cracks.
I swear, if this is the natural 20 here, I'm gonna be upset.
Let's see.
Oh, thank God I heard it.
Total.
Okay, sorry, that is...
This is stealth.
8 plus... Do I have any pluses?
You should have at least
10.
plus 2, so 10.
Mhm.
Okay.
You literally just announced it
I
to the
will,
entire party.
I will say, as you say this, given the close proximity and stuff that's going on, you say this out loud, and everybody looks at you and then looks at Cat.
Can I insight Kirv? I wanted that. We can't see it. I want to insight Kirv and see if Kirv was telling the truth.
Go ahead
To
and
be
roll me an
fair,
insight check. Curve, roll
I
me.
think I'd be doing the same because I don't trust her at this point, having just tripped up another spell.
Yeah, okay, Curve. I'll say if you wish to, you may try and hide your blunder by making a
Oh.
deception check, or you can roll a persuasion check. I don't know. Deception. Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well just do
Deception,
deception.
yeah. Yep, go for it.
Oh, I got a 17.
A 9.
I got a 24.
16.
16. Okay.
Oh.
Of the two of you who look at her, and then you're like, we don't trust her. And then you're like, what cracks? There's more questions than answers with the fact that she seems to be, as much as it's telling the truth and not telling the truth, she's still a little bit hard to read. I'll say that you gauge that she may have been telling the truth, but you don't know about what.
Okay, we'll find the answers in time. He is on the trail now. He is a bloodhound now. He will learn the truth.
Just look at Curve. It's like, no,
I
you
think-
tried tripping them. What?
I think yeah, Romulus is gonna like loom over Curve and just say, I think this is the part where you just quiet down a bit and let Cat do what Cat wants.
I'm gonna just kind of like sheath the dagger and just hide in darkness.
Okay. Oh, use it to hide the light. I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, clearly I have missed some things. Anyway, Kay, would you
about
like to
us.
take it?
I wouldn't mind if you're okay with that. I was thinking of us doing rock, paper, scissors. It's a fair way of whoever gets it.
Yeah,
Try
I'm
and say
happy for you to
rock,
take
paper,
it.
scissors.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Okay, so Kay will receive it. Okay. Okay, Romulus, go ahead and roll me an intimidation check. Curve, how do you respond to Romulus looming over you and saying this?
She sort of pauses and sort of looks him up and down.
I am using the mantle, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Are you her
It's
father?
it's only a 14. Also,
Literally
yes.
the first thing Damian.
For all intents and purposes, yes.
Understood, good man.
Oh wait, hold on. Where is it in my notes?
My lips are
Where is
sealed.
it in my notes? Oh,
I'm
where
just gonna
is
give
it?
it a little thumbs up, like
Kay points to both Damian and Romulus. They're both her father. They're just really bad at parenting.
You just hear from the background. You don't see it, but you just hear from the background. Damien's more of an uncle.
Okay.
He's more of the fun kind of uncle, but
So,
I want to make one thing extremely clear, and I cannot stress this enough. If me and Damian were co-parenting, I would become a single father immediately.
wow.
Give it 3 weeks.
So, Curve or Cat? What do you, who's taking it?
In fairness, I'd like to, but I wouldn't fight it if Curve says Curve wants it.
To try and get Romulus off my back, I'll say, okay.
You
Can
don't
have it.
actually have to. I was just like going, you've revealed my child's secrets. Shut up!
Oh, hey, look, I don't want to be on everyone's bad side. Just when it's funny.
Just the spider elf's bad side. Got it. Because those are the people you want to piss off.
Well, I just got here. I don't know.
That's fair.
So, which one's getting it?
Oh, I've got no fucking clue.
Nah, cat can have it. Cat can have it.
Okay. So, it was Kay, Romulus, and Cat.
Yes.
Okay. The one who you, or the youngest brother of the two of them, comes up to you, Kay. Otherwise, kind of goes, you can keep the ritual book. Try to make good use of it or sense of it if you can.
Kay takes out the book, looks at it. He can't understand a word that's written here, can he?
Make me an Arcana check.
Arcana. No.
I cannot take no more, Captain.
Arcana. That is 8.
8. You look at the pages, and with your kind of detect magic sense, you begin to look over it, and it begins to form into words that you aren't able to understand immediately. It will take time to decode, but it is possible for you to understand this in time.
It looks like I can understand it with time.
It's worth a shot. I don't know if you have magic or anything, but by all means, you're welcome to it if you want. I don't really have anything else to offer.
Thank you, and sorry for being gruff with you.
That's okay. He kind of nods. It all turned out well in the end.
Kay wishes to know if he can smell rat on his breath.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage. Yeah, I'm going to roll a stealth check with disadvantage. This is something he wouldn't have done, so it'd be the battle of disadvantage. Oh!
Oh.
Natural 19 and natural 20, so I'm taking that 19. It's 26.
I mean, I got like a 2 plus
Yeah.
whatever.
You can't
so
smell rat on his breath.
Got away with it this time, bastard.
He got his own back. The leader comes up to you, Cat. May I? And gestures towards your spellbook.
Okay. Gonna just, I'll hold the book out.
And you watch as he takes a small knife, cuts across his palm, and as the other way squeezes a little bit in, you watch as a few droplets of blood strike against the surface of your page. You will learn one spell from his spell list. And I'll give you the full spell list after this, and you can choose which one you would like.
Oh.
And then the battle-hardened warrior comes up to you, Romulus. And you watch as she otherwise takes out a what looks to be this kind of tiny piece of almost white and green jade, and looks at you and goes, "You look like the weapon sort of man. What's the one you use the most that is preferably mundane?"
Well, I've got the only one I've got that's mundane currently is the Dane axe, I believe. The other one has a sort of sigilly thing done on it.
It's been etched, but it hasn't.
Etched.
What's the etching on it?
I believe that's the etching to make it do technically magical damage.
Okay, in which case this won't work on it, so it'll only work on the Dane axe.
Wait, no. I don't remember. I feel like it definitely did something, but I don't. I'm going to assume it was the magical damage one because it doesn't say anything else on it. So yeah, let's go.
That's
with that.
okay. I can look it up afterwards, and I can let you choose. Either way, she takes the gem, and you watch as you hand her the Dane axe, and she slams the gem onto the side. You watch as it shatters and then begins to crawl along its surface and begins to embed itself in the surface of the Dane axe. Your Dane axe becomes a magical weapon and has become silk-bound. Whenever you successfully hit a creature with a silk-bound weapon, their speed is reduced by 10, once per round, once per creature.
Excellent.
So in other words, you can hit a creature and its speed will be reduced by 10 for that round, but you can only do this once per creature, once per round.
Okay, I'm just putting that in now. Silkbound, you said?
Yes.
And what sort of, so it's minus 5 feet?
Minus
Oh.
10 feet of movement.
10 feet.
Yeah, but it cannot affect the same creature twice in the same round.
Mm-hmm.
So it encourages split firing, effectively. Attack multiple creatures.
So,
Quick
So?
question.
Hmm?
I just wanted to ask, when I got the goosebumps from when the younger brother cast the spell, was that the
Mhm.
one when he sprouted the legs, or
Yes.
was it?
When he
Okay.
sprouted the legs. And you note the same kind of magic begins to crawl across the surface of Romulus's axe as well.
Okay. I'm just making sure for my question that I'm asking him.
Okay.
Am I asking it now?
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, okay. I have a question
Mhm.
for you.
Sure.
The magic that you used when you grew the legs, what kind was that?
Oh, entomancy. Bug magic.
see now, I for a brief second there, I thought, all I could think of was Treebeard.
Yeah, same.
Intromancy.
Oof.
Fucking Treebeard's teaching all these bloody spiders.
The way of the tree.
That was Treebeard back during his goth phase when he wore spiders as charms.
Can you imagine, like, treants or ents, but they've got giant wooden spider bodies?
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'm just giving Chris ideas.
Yep.
Thank you. I have magic sensitivity, so I could feel something when you cast it. Now I know what it is.
Huh. Well, good to know. I'm glad I could have helped. He turns around to the others as the centurions and the miners are beginning to flood through, and they're like, "All right, clear the way, clear the way." And the oldest brother turns around and goes, "Right, let's get all of you back out. We'll escort you to the entrance, and by all means, you can take it from there, I assume."
Yes.
How long till you should have this emptied?
Probably a few hours, I imagine, with the number that the numbers coming through.
Okay, so by day's end it should be clear.
Definitely.
Just in case they want to send a team in to check. I didn't want to.
Of course. And we'll recollapse the tunnel behind us and make sure that this one's permanently cut off.
Excellent. Okay,
Okay,
that's
good.
brilliant.
Okay.
Should any issues like this happen again, there's no way to contact us. Didn't think about that one.
We have ways of contacting you.
Okay, then contact us and we might be able to negotiate something instead of just all-out war between two.
We'll see what we can do in regards to that.
No worries.
If we need you, we'll
We can-
contact you.
Excellent. Well, if we can save lives, then it's all good.
Thank you.
No worries.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
You too. You are all led to the exit. And as you otherwise reach the exit, being led up through the brood nest area into the first chamber where all the bodies are. I'll say giving them a thorough look. None of them really have anything on them, but I'll say that group-wise, you just to avoid the investigation checks, I'll say you get 10 gold. I'll say between K and Cat, because the two of you have the highest investigation.
The only other thing I want to do
Mhm.
is make it more obvious for the little trinkets on them, so that others can be able to tell who's who
Okay. I'll
just by
say
their trinkets.
I'll
and
say in
stuff.
that instance, then yeah, that's fine. Take your 5 gold and make the trinkets more obvious, and Cat, you get 5 gold as well. As you exit, the silk spinner cuts the silk behind the webbing behind you to make it look like you've come out of somewhere which was effectively finished up. I'll cut through all of these once we're all ready to leave. Once we've gotten everything out of here.
Well, thank you and
Stay safe. As you're beginning to leave the entrance, you?
I was just gonna say, is the door still closed? Is it still silent?
You haven't gotten there yet. You're just leaving the cave.
Oh, I thought we were at.
No. You're just leaving the cave entrance. As you're
Oh, yes. Everyone be quiet as we're getting out of the cave.
Yeah. As you proceed to leave the cave and you begin to exit back out into the open, you hear the shout, "What the fuck is that?" And then you watch as someone gets shot past you and then rubber bands backwards as a tongue pulls in, and what looks to be one of the adventurers who presumably had been sent after you guys hadn't returned for 3 days, as you watch as someone is swallowed by a giant toad. And that is where we're going to end the session for tonight. So, with a successful diplomacy, some arrangements, and some loot and reward gained from this, our party of adventurers returned back to the wide open world of the bayou, only to find adventurers being eaten and attacked by giant toads. Thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Potatoes.